And when we whoop enough ass, everybody gonna get in line and do right. All right, peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. Assalamu alaikum, shalom. Welcome, family. We are here at the our first Sunday program. Our topic today is: Can America be reformed? Can its agencies be reformed? Can whites be reformed? When we mean its agencies, we mean the police force, the FBI, all these different agencies that they got out there. Can they be reformed? And we have an illustrious panel, as always. We got Dr. Thomas James Jones, we got Brother Isaiah, we have Sister Cassie. Sister Cassie is having a little technical difficulties, but she'll be right back with us shortly. But as we begin this conversation about can America be reformed, and when we're looking at and trying to understand the question about can America be reformed, because that's a serious question that has to be answered, especially for those of us who live in America, and I would say especially for those who are touched outside of America by its policies, by its programs. Can America be reformed? Can the mind that operates America, can that mind be reformed? Or should it all be destroyed? Peace and blessings, Doc. We're going to start with you. What's your, and I want to say to Maya, welcome. We're glad that you're here. All right. Doc, we're going to start with you. Can America be reformed? Can its agency be reformed?
You know, the thing is that when you're talking about reforming something, you're in many ways insinuating that you're trying to revert back to what it was originally intended to be. And the reforming of this nation back to what it was intended to be, I mean, I think that's a fruitless task, because quite simply, America has become and has probably always been what it was initially created to be, a white man's land. And we have to, in every way, look at it from the standpoint that America, from their perspective, was created by whites to serve the interest and at the behest of whites. And this idea of who is and who isn't white has transferred and transformed over the centuries of this nation's existence. But reforming it, there's no need to reform it, because it is doing what it was initially created to do, and that is to serve as a quote unquote white man's heaven, which means that, as Minister Farrakhan put it once, that makes it a black man's hell. And I yield, brother.
Excellent, Doc. So let me ask you, since you said it cannot be reformed because it's doing exactly what it was set up to do for Black people in America, for everybody in America that is non-white, what do they need to do to I guess get real justice, since it cannot be reformed?
I mean, the solution has always been the same, and it is quite simply some type of separation from white culture, white society, white rule. Now, as to if that separation is going to be a physical one, or if it's going to be what we saw articulated in that ghetto classic movie, The Mac, we should be seeking to create a nation within a nation, but without a nation. Meaning, quite simply, that just as the Italians had their section, just as the Polish and the Germans had their section, Black folk need to have their section. And they need to be, as Malcolm talked about with his definition of Black nationalism, they need to be very, very, very serious about controlling the politics, the education, and the economics of their community, of their area. One of the most deplorable aspects of the Black sections of most major urban cities is quite simply that they are the quote unquote slums. And there is, in many ways, no defensible, no defense of that. Just because we may be economically marginalized does not mean that we have to prey on each other. Just because we have less money does not mean that we need to throw trash everywhere and treat each other like trash. There could be a dignity, and there has historically been a dignity prior to this mass integration that we saw in the 1950s and 1960s, headed by civil rights leaders. Um, we lived with dignity. We lived with love. We cared for each other. Um, and it's hard for me to see that right now for our people. And I yield, brother.
So Doc, one more question before I go and pick on Brother Isaiah. Um, Black nationalism is the answer, but hasn't Black nationalism already failed in America?
I don't, I'm not sold that Black nationalism is even the ultimate answer, to be honest with you.
Mm,
But to deal with the question of has Black nationalism failed in
mm,
America, I would argue that we have never 100% efficiently attempted Black nationalism on even a scale of the North American continent. Now we've talked about it, we've alluded to it and what have you, but one of the things that has historically muted efforts for Black nationalism and in many ways bred a disbelief in Black folk being able to take care of themselves is quite simply the fact that the funnel that is being poured into that's inside of your children's mind is not coming from Black minds, Black ingenuity, Black education. It is a replication of what white society has said and what white society, and you can say whatever you want to about white society, it is generated and aimed at from beginning to end to perpetuate their rule. It's one of the reasons why you do not see Jews allowing whites to pour into their children's minds. They have their own schools. That's what you're going to need to have even a decent chance at allowing Black nationalism, and really for our people to understand what Black nationalism even is, and a sense of racial solidarity, the need and the urge and the compulsion, the unending compulsion to circulate your dollars, circulate your ingenuity with each other. Because without that, in a capitalist nation, you're going to continue to lose from day one to day forever.
mm. Well, Doc, allow me to ask you again a different question, but um, would you agree that Black nationalism either did operate or is in operation now on the continent of Africa? And because Africa has quote unquote failed, is a bunch of so-called failed states, wouldn't that be because of Black nationalism?
Mhm. No, Black nationalism has never been tried in Africa in a mass scale. If you look at the first independent, truly independent nation, you're going to look at Ghana, and then you can look at Kwame Nkrumah's reign in Ghana. We see the Ghanaians overthrowing a coup, executing a coup against the first independent Black president that they had. Clear sign that Black nationalism is not um, being applied in the continent of Africa. Once again, you have a white agency pouring ideas into the minds of Africans, and they went ahead and did their bidding. That's the first thing I would say in regards to that. The second thing I'll say is that if you go back and you look at what Nkrumah's trying to do, Sekou Touré is trying to do, one of the criticisms, because what they're actually calling for is a United States of Africa, just as you have a United States of America. And what they quickly discovered is no African leader, no African country wants to give up a morsel of power to work with another nation, another African nation. Now, they'll give up power to work with outsiders, but within the continent, they didn't want to do that. And many of them had this joke that they would say about Nkrumah behind his back. Yeah, Nkrumah wants to create a United States of Africa, but only if he gets to be the president. So the African has had historically a conception of blackness, a conception of identity that is not easily understood for um, American descendants of slavery. I guess they call it ADOS. The African, and to this day, if you were to ask an African who he is, he may say he's from Africa. If you press him more, he may say, okay, you. This is a smart Negro. So I'm from Nigeria. Press them some more, and they'll really tell you who they are. I'm Igbo. Okay, I'm Ashanti. I'm Hausa. Um, their ethnic identity meant because they did not have the other. Okay, we've always had the other, and that other for us has been white folk. Okay, now these variations of white folk have changed. You've added some Italian, some German, and what have you in there, but by and large, we've always had the other. And regardless of how we felt about each other, we recognize that the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And that has in many ways led to the creation and conception of a broader understanding of what blackness is. The African has not had that. Okay. Many Africans have taken pride in their nation state and allowed that nation state to supersede their pride in Africa, in their fellow brothers. What Marcus Mosiah Garvey was referring to when he talks about up you mighty race, achieve what you will. He's talking about you're an African, and everything that you do has to be aimed at uplifting and freeing Africa. Even the African hasn't done that. And that has been a source of how we conceive our conception of who's a brother, who's a friend, who's an enemy has been distorted and continues to be distorted to this very day, brother. And I yield.
All right. Thank you, Doc. We're going to come back and talk some more on the points that you brought up. Sister Cassie, peace and blessings. You can hear us now? All right. Perfect. Isaiah, you can hear, right? Okay. Well, come on in, Isaiah. Let me ask you some questions. Okay. So our topic again is, can America be reformed? And can its agencies being reformed, and can whites be reformed? Doc said the partial answer was Black nationalism. Brother Isaiah, what is your answer? Can America be reformed, its agencies and white folks? And I want to welcome Brother Willie Rivers to the program. Peace and blessings, Brother Willie. Glad you're here, family. Go ahead, Brother Isaiah.
Yeah. Anything and anybody can be reformed, but the will of the people must be prevalent and must be present in that reformation or change that is in the air. Everybody can feel it. I mean, I can feel it. Even I'm from here, from the Dominican Republic, and I can tell you that the overall air of America and of the world is changing. White supremacy, white men, white privilege is falling. And what we are witnessing now are the death throes of white privilege, white supremacy, and the resurgence of black supremacy and black power. When I talk about black power, I'm not just talking about, you know what I mean? There's a direct connection to the acoustic record of our ancestors that is speaking to us right now. Doc, Cassie, brother Muhammad. Now you can see it. You can feel it. It is like an electrical charge that is coming out. And as we look at the apartheid system uh, in Palestine, these brothers, the Palestinians who are indigenous to the land, look like me and you. They know that the white man ain't shit. They know that they're lying and scheming and connect. Even white folks are going on TV saying that they the number. Pride comes before the fall. And so when I look at America and its policy of injustice over justice, over lies over truth, over lies over truth, you can't help but to lose. You're going to lose. You must stand on what is right as a nation and as an individual and as a community and as a state and as a nation. Hold on for a second. That if you don't, you will lose. It is just in the cards. That is karma. That is God at work. And so when I see things as it is, as a messenger with a message, like you got a message with a message, Cassie got a message with a messenger with a message, brother Doc, excuse me, Doc got a message, and he's a messenger. What it is simple vision. History repeats itself. History is circular. It must repeat. That is the law of history. It has always been like that. And so when you talk about where the Reformation take place in the three-letter alphabet agencies we got, of course, but you got to put in the right people. The people that are running America are the Ashkenazi Jews. And what they are doing, they are bribing the Senate and Congress because why? They got pedophilic records and conversations and videos of them fucking kids. This ain't no fucking shit. Just don't happen. The people who are running America right now are you motherfucking hunky ass Jews who ain't shit. They doing the same shit that the white folks in America do. They don't give a fuck about Torah or the Jews or the religion. They don't. That is the air that they breathe, that they say they doing, that they say they, the chosen people. We know they're not. And so when I talk about white folks ain't gonna never change. They are the harbingers of death, destruction, disease, and despair, motherfuckers. Get that in your fucking head. I know you are cool with that, brother Muhammad, Sister Cassie, and I pray to God that Doc is. I don't know. But I ain't gonna hide myself and my feelings and emotions when it is based in truth. I can't do it. I must roar like a motherfucking lion and fuck everybody who don't believe in, who don't want to believe it because they were, I love white folks. I still a lot of good white men. Fuck you. I'm like Muhammad Ali. Fuck all the motherfuckers and put them all in the goddamn same box. They ain't shit and they have never been shit. They have been here since the last 4,000 years. They didn't do shit. They have not created not one civilization, not one world religion. That was our shit. They just trying to make themselves off to be more than what they are. They done bit off more than what they can chew. Period. End of that discussion. There is no more. White folk cannot be reformed. The only way they can get through this shit is by beating their motherfucking ass. That's it. Economically speaking, politically speaking, spiritually speaking, and finally killing them physically. This is what it comes down to. You can see that in the Middle East or Northeast Africa. They are Netanyahu talking about, well, we need to continue because if we don't, how much is they going to keep on doing? Motherfucker, wait, hold on, wait. The terrorist is you. The occupier is occupying a land that is not yours. The UN Social Security Council never gave credence to nor positivity of allowing a state named Israel to exist. It never did. It don't exist. Hold on for a second. What the hell is that? What's going on here? Oh, okay. Hold on. My battery guy. I thought I had it connected with the plug. I'm like, what damn light? I knew my light thing went out. But look, white folk gonna be white folk. Don't you ever don't let, as long as your ass is pointing toward the ground, the sun's shining and the creek don't rise. Don't you ever forget that shit. White folk gonna be white folk gonna be white folk because they painted themselves into a corner. I don't give a fuck how long ago that Blumenbach and Meyer talking about we white. Because they went to Greek and Rome and they saw alabaster statues that were unfinished works that were going to be painted black. They came back to America. Oh, we're Greeks. We're Romans. No, you ain't. You never was, bitch. You just went there and saw some shit that looked like you because you wanted to feign or fake like the Greek and Roman history is yours. That's black. Everything that the more deep they go in back in the past, or the deeper they go, or the deeper they dig, the more black it becomes. Tell it just all black. You can't escape this shit. You know what I mean? White folks want to be black so bad they can taste that shit. I'm telling you. And I rest my case. Unless you got something else to say, you know. I can keep on going. I really want to go. But I can honestly tell you, Biden ain't Biden. That's a motherfucking wannabe masked man. The real Biden died a long time ago. These are some. It might be some how you said conspiracy theories, but the conspiracy theorists are coming out, man. All the things that we've been saying is some real shit. Hillary Clinton ain't Hillary Clinton. If you look and compare, and from what I'm understanding, from what I'm seeing, these people went to Gitmo and got killed. Obama ain't Obama. He wasn't born in America. You feel what I'm saying? He's the Manchurian candidate. But I'm just throwing it out there and putting it on the table. Do I know? Have I seen Hillary Clinton being killed and on the morgue table getting cut up? No. But I'm more inclined in that area because the evidence is just there. Now, we were talking about Nestor Agasiva on the show about the changing of the currency to the U.S. Treasury note versus what it was before, and the fact that America is getting away from the Rothschild banks and all of these elite globalist entities that are controlling the world and bringing it back into what it was before 18. Who was the last president? The 18th president of the United States. Shit, I can't remember that brother's name, but the black guy. But Trump is not. Excuse me for a minute. But Trump is now the 19th president. So America came into. Hold on for a second. You know they got niggas here. They got live music playing. That's an indication for you. But look, yeah. What I was saying that ever since 1871, America has been under the rug, so to speak. The real Constitution of America was subjugated for the United States of America Corporation. So now we're out of the American Corporation from what I'm understanding, and from all of the indications that I've been getting, we're going back to the Republic, the United States Republic, which is quite different. If you look at the flag of America with the gold fringes, that is a indication of the maritime law. Now we are on land law. You know what I mean? So there's a big difference. I don't really have the time to really go into it, but there's some deep shit that's going on. And so now we are the richest people and the richest nation in the world because our currency is now backed by gold. And from what I've seen, and if it's true, Trump done went all the way around the world and especially the Vatican, and bring back I don't know how many tons of gold. So what we are witnessing is the final death throes of the global elitists and the final death throes of white supremacy, white superiority. And that's exactly what we're looking at. But at some later point, we know we can go into greater detail about what that means. But what we are seeing right now is the resurgence of black power and black supremacy. It's going to happen just like Gaddafi said. If you kill me, you'll be opening the door to all of hell for all of eternity. Now he said it, not me. He said that Africa and black people will be back on top. The back on top is my word, but he said something different. But the same shit. We are the richest people in the world and the smartest people in the world, and white folk can't take that shit. I digress. To you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Brother Isaiah. I want to welcome Big Brother Roy. Peace and blessings, Big Brother Roy. Welcome to the program. Twin Pyramid, peace and blessings. Welcome to the program. Now, Brother Isaiah, you said that you think Black Power is the solution. Am I correct on what you said?
Most definitely, it has never been. Look, there's so much I want to say, but we only got too much time. The Atlantic Ocean used to be the Ethiopic Ocean. Why? Because black folks ran that motherfucker. We ran the trade routes from China from here to America. You know what I mean? Our empire stretched from the Americas to Timbuktu, from the land of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. That wasn't just a song they made up. That was some real shit. That was the power and majesty of the black man and the black army, the largest standing army of that time. When the black man spoke, motherfuckers shut the fuck up, sat down and listened to what the fuck we were talking about. That was some real shit. So when I talk about and you talk about and we talk about black power, it's not just raising your hand and raising your fist. It's economic and political power. We are off the economic and political and geopolitical stage. It's the reason why the world is fucked up. When we ran it correctly. We are now seeing the economic and political death of the world based on what white folk love to see themselves as the head of. It cannot succeed because it's not based on what is right, just, and true. Now, are we saying, or am I saying that black folks are perfect? No. But we know from experience, hold on for a second. We know from experience, most definitely, that we are the best at it. That has been proven throughout history. We're the only people on the planet that have ruled for thousands upon thousands of years, if not tens of thousands of years. Every royal family in Europe was black folks, not white. They came later after the first migration of white folks from Central Asia. Then you get into the second migration of white folks into our Western royal empire, especially the Vatican, that pushed the Vatican from Italy into France. That's another story. But definitely, in what I'm talking about, has to be on the three rings of power: spirituality or religion, political, and economic. Without a poor man can't get no respect. You don't. Politically speaking, you have no input. And the reason why these so-called Jews are running it, because they got money. They got PACs, political action committees, that are speaking on their behalf. Do black folks have spirit? No. The Black Caucus is set up and was set up by white Jews. So obviously anything they say is not going to be on our behalf. Fuck the Black Caucus. They're not speaking for us. They were set up and created by white folks. The NAACP was set up by white folks. So fuck them niggas too. They're not speaking for us. We must speak for us as a black entity in America. And now, from what I'm seeing, these excuse me for a minute. Espérate, estoy hablando, güey. Ponte en la habitación, ahora mismo. Vete. Thank you. For what I'm saying, that now the Hamas and the Muslims, they are more present in their thinking. Hey, wait a minute. We can do what we are doing in the Middle East, in the royal families and the heads of state in the Middle East. We can do the same shit in America. Money talk, bullshit walk. I don't give a fuck what color you are, sir. If you got money, then you can get the kind of services that you are waiting for or wanting or doing anything else. Money rules the day in America. It has always been like that because we are a capitalistic society. We're not a communistic society. We're not a socialistic society. We're not a democratic society. We are a republic, not a democratic society. There's a big difference between Democrats and Republicans. That is the reason why I'm a Republican. Fuck a Democrat. And the reason why I'm not a Democrat, you want to know the reason why? Not because of white folks, because of the symbol what they stand for, the motherfucking donkey. Do I look like a fucking donkey? Why I associate myself with a fucking donkey, a fucking ass? Hell, motherfucking! I'd rather associate with an elephant, the smartest creature. But I digress. Back to you.
Thank
If,
you,
it,
dear
if there's
brother.
any other question, I will.
Yeah, I do got one more question for you, but I want to welcome Nirma X to the program. Peace and blessings, Nirma X. We're glad that you're with us. Brother Isaiah, you said that Black Power and working on the three systems, spiritual, political, and economic, that these three things we must have. Now, you live in a Black country where all your leaders, your elected leaders for the most part are Black people. Is your country that you're living in operating off of the Black Power principles you just talked about, or are they operating off of the white man's principles?
That's a good question. And the best answer is no. We're not operating off of the white man system because we know the white man system ain't shit. Now, what happened in the 1960s, white folks came here and started our racial bullshit. That I'm white and you're black and you on the bottom. You know what I mean? We didn't fall for that for the most part. But it's a prevalent idea here. But the idea is that Black power structure is very prevalent in the Dominican Republic. The reason being is that money talk, bullshit walk. If you got the money, baby, you got everything. If you ain't got money, may God bless you, because you're going to have some power. Because there's no welfare here. There's very little welfare. You might get $50 from the government. $50. But you can't bring your black ass, white ass, Hispanic ass, Arab ass here and expect for them to support 8 children that's not yours. That don't work. They don't give a fuck. You laid your ass and spread your legs and you had to make babies. You better try to do something. Sell some more pussy. Do something. But you're gonna have some problems here. But I can tell you right now that the answer has always been economic. You can look at, hold on for a second. You can look at the Black Wall Street. What did we do what we slaves supposedly, what we slaves, and I'm just putting that on the table. Were we slaves broke after damn, after 1865, the Civil War, and proclamation of independence. Not proclamation, you know what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So, no, we got off our ass and got busy. We were never lazy. It was white folks that came in and stole our shit because they saw it in their minds after the 1865 proclamation of independence for black folks and people in general that slavery ended, it ended for white folks too. It just wasn't for black folks. Don't ever if somebody telling you that dumbass shit that it's only freed niggas, they're lying to you. They don't know the true history of America. They're fucking lying. They're trying to tell you that black folks only come from the continent of Africa and we got here from Africa on fucking slave ship made out of wood, nigga. They fucking lying. I'm just gonna be straight up about this. I ain't gonna fucking sit here, and act like I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I wrote the book on the motherfucker, and I'm gonna tell you exactly what the fuck happened. After 1865, black folks got richer, and white folks couldn't take that shit because they didn't have a motherfucking thing. The black men were taking over taking over his white woman, and the white woman came to the black men talking about, well, can I get this done? Can I get this done? Can we do this? Can we do? And the white man didn't do shit. He wasn't empowered to do shit. It wasn't until the 70s and the 80s and the 90s that they began to see, well, wait a minute. If we can get control of the city, state, and federal government and the branches of power, we can commence laws, policies, and regulations that sequestered and what's the word I'm looking for? Put shackles on around the ankles and wrists of black men and in power and women too. And we began to write laws, policies, and regulations that's the word I'm looking for, that restricted their movement. That was against the goddamn Constitution. It has always been like that. And so when the 18th president, I can't remember his name. I can see his face. This was a black guy. He created the Department of Justice to go after white folks, stopping that shit. That was the law, and it's still the law. If we didn't get our motherfucking rights in the 1960s, whoever tells you that shit don't know what the fuck they talking about. I'm just being honest with that motherfucking shit, and I hate a motherfucker who don't even question their goddamn education. Because that's just telling me you're a miseducated nigga. That's all you are. Period. Miseducated, uneducated. You ain't even questioning the fucking education you got from the white man. And I digress back.
All right. Thank you, dear brother. Thank you, brother Isaiah. I want to welcome Earth Angel Remix 1105 to the program. Peace and blessings, Queen. We're glad you're with us. Sister Cassie, your turn.
Sir, boy, I tell you.
So can be reformed? Can the agencies be reformed? And can whites be reformed?
Oh boy, we already know the answer to this, but I'm gonna just entertain y'all for once. We already know the answer. If forced, yes. But on their own, no. We already know that. But it's gonna take us reinforcing and cleaning house with us first. You understand what I'm saying? It's going to take us doing what we need to do on our side and re-educating us, because we already know God called them serpent people for one. He told you what we were dealing with, and we still think that they're friends. We turn around and call them our very enemy. We call them friends. Now we mixing and mingling with them, but our ancestors separated us from them. Total separation is key, period. And us having Cassie land and doing what we need to do. Total separation. Be one folk over here, Coons over there. You do what you want to do over there, Coons. We got this over here. And that's what it's going to take. We see that coming together already. We see it now, where Black folks getting into their own businesses, opening up their own schools. But now it's got to catch on to everybody. Okay? If they have black school, it's going to take us. Why are we supporting our own schools? We have to support our own schools. We have to support us. We have to get the healing for what's happening to us. And total separation is the only key. And re-educating. We got to re-educate ourselves. Because right now we've been allowing them to educate us, 70 years? That's ridiculous. We have come together with them and allowed them to take over. Look at our children. It's a mess. That's done on purpose. But we already know they're not going to, it's going to take God to do what needs to be done. It's going to take him, and it's going to take us actively doing it. Because he told us we could win. He already gave you the authority to do that. But are we taking it and running with it? We're still waiting on a leader instead of a movement. Leaders, they kill. We need an active movement in order to get this thing to where it needs to be. Because yes, we're going to have Black folk that's going to think, oh, we can't do that. Okay, you sit over there and watch. Because I know we can. But it's going to take the ones that want to do to get up and do. And then you're going to have the ones that's going to look and say, oh, they doing it. Okay, let me jump in there. Then you'll have some more. But you're not going to get all of them. We already know that. But no, they cannot be reformed. No. He told you they're going to have a perpetual hatred for you. Anytime somebody has a perpetual hatred for you, they cannot be reformed. Because they hate you just because they don't even know why they hate you. Period. They wake up, look at you, and they don't even know where it came from. That's something that's been instilled in them. That's something they born with. It's passed down, born with it, whatever. Who cares? But it's going to take us staying on focus to understand what we're here to do. We have to know the assignment. We have to know the code of behavior. We have to know that somebody come against a Black person and show on, you shut them down. We're going to have to understand it's a lot. We have a lot of work to do, but it's not like it can't be done. Because, Brother Maurice, you know what your gifts are. I know what I'm supposed to be doing. Isaiah know what he's supposed. So if everybody is doing their part, Doc know what he's supposed. If everybody is doing their part, well, how can we lose? How can we? And the coons move their asses out the way. We don't have time to beg. We don't have time to get there. Look, you want to coon out, go over there and be with Joseph all you want. When he kill you, do we need to? Okay, that's your problem. Keep moving. We ain't got nothing to do with that. But I believe in total separation, and it's going to take us actively doing it. It's going to take us educating our children to help them to understand, to get back to understand Black folk, how proud it is to be Black, how amazing Black folk are. We are the trendsetters. Let me tell you how. Look at Bufana. I might be saying this African country wrong. Bufana Faso, okay? I think I'm saying it right. It's probably, anyway, that dude is the truth. We have to look and see what's going on right there. He's kicking out everything France. The language, he's taking the language back to Swahili. He's kicked out the France. And I'm saying, okay, now let's keep moving. Let's keep doing it. He's getting with other countries, trying to, come together. And that's a start. We have to celebrate every small win. That's a win right there. Because I've never seen African countries come together. But you're seeing it now. We're seeing this brother who overthrew the president. Now he's running things and putting things Black in place. That's what it's about. You have to start somewhere, and we have to support. When we see people like that doing it, we have to support him. He's got contracts with 3 other nations. Now, okay, bro, you got 50 some more to go. You understand what I'm saying? It's time. Let's keep the roll. Let's keep doing it. Let's keep fighting. But you can't just sit here and wait. What you waiting on? He gave you the authority to do it. Why are we waiting? Black man, he gave you the authority to be in the leadership. Why are you not there? What are we doing? Let's put some things in place so that we can begin to do the movement, so we can put the movement into practice. And once Black folk get hold of a movement, we can run with this thing because we've seen it. We know how to support each other. We've done it before. We can do it again. We built this country. We can build Africa. We can build other countries. Kick everybody out of Africa and come together and do what we're supposed to do in our Black continent or Black country, whatever you want to call it. We can do it. We see them doing it now. So now it's time for us to understand what's happening now. I sent you a video. They talking about leaving them there. Okay, whatever. It doesn't matter. We still know how to build. We've been doing it every week. That's all we know how to do. We've been building. We done built this country. Why can't we go build somewhere else? Why are we trying to stay put in somewhere that we know how they feel about us? It's not going to change. It's It's never going to change. So why do we expect them to? You understand what I'm saying? So I pass my mic.
Exactly. Now, I want to say this, moderators, in the chat, we have Sue in the chat. So let's make sure everything is held down and our house does not get disrespected. Let's make sure we take good control of what's going on in that chat room.
If you come to learn, you can stay. You're welcome. But if you didn't come to learn, you come to be disruptive, you can leave now. Plain and simple.
So,
let me say that the president was Ulysses S. Grant. That's who I was trying to think of. I had to look him up. Ulysses S. Grant.
okay.
I was the 18th president.
So, Sister Cassie, Doc called his answer, or part of the answer, Black nationalism. Brother Isaiah called his answer Black power. You call your answer what?
Mine is B1.
B1.
Period. If you don't have a B1 heart, have a seat, move out the way, and let the ones that have a mindset for Black people, in order for us to grow, to get to where we need to be, move over and let us do what we need to do, because we know the assignment. We know what to do. Like we don't know. We know what to do. And it's total separation. Educating your own babies. Get your babies away from them, because we see the damages. We're looking at the damages. There's 70 years worth of hell that our kids went through. And it's your fault. It's our fault, because we allowed it. We knew the hell that we went through on their jobs. And we turned around and gave them our babies every day. And now look, and it's done on purpose. Because guess what? If I don't have order here, I got a 45-bed jail waiting for you that I'm building in Atlanta, waiting. And that's nationwide. Oh, they planning on locking some folk up. But I'm calling it B1. Period.
Excellent, excellent. Now, let me ask you this, Sister Cassie, because in the process of getting things together as they should be, you'll have Black folks that will want to fight you because you're talking separation and you're living that, and you want that for the people. How would you deal with that issue with them?
How would I deal with it? I'm not going to argue with you. All you have to do is look around you. If you don't like it, you can step aside, because I'm not going to argue with something. If you telling me that they've been pissing on me and they calling it rain, you believe that? You need to have a seat. Go over there and watch us work. We don't have time to argue with people, because, Black folk have been in the mindset for a long time. We will fight against freedom. We have been in captivity for so long. When you think about being free, you start fighting against it. We don't have time to just watch our work. Plain and simple. The arguing, that's done. That's done. We don't have time for that. It's time now for the movement. It's time now to build. It's time now, like I said, to be separate. And if you want to sit over there and watch us until you get it and understand it, because we've been talking too long, go look at some history until you get it. Watch their history. Look up the real history, not the history that they want to blindfold and tell you who you're not. Watch the real history so that you can understand truth, because that's what it's time for. It's time for truth. And it's time for us to teach you truth. So if you come here and you're willing to learn, we got you. But if you kind of trying to, because sometimes people will do stuff to keep you off focus. I ain't got time to be off focus right now. It's time to build. If you're ready to build, let's move forward. If not, you can sit over there and watch us until you get your mindset right. Then you can come on, maybe, depending on your heart. You have a heart then, and you've grown and you ready and you've learned and you're healed up and you're ready to move forward, let's go. But if you come to destroy, because you got all kind of agents among us, right? And if that's who you are, we will handle that too, because you're not going to come and tear down some stuff that we've been building, because we want jungle justice, period. And that's what I believe in. If I believe that you're being used for white supremacy, I believe that not only you be destroyed, but your whole family, the whole lineage, period. We ain't got time for this. I believe that. I really do understand that. And I'm not condoning violence at all. I promise you. It's all about justice and keeping focus and doing what we come here to do. Because we had a whole lot of people that was hidden agents that took down a lot the Black Panthers for example. You know what I'm saying? Martin Luther King. Who had their hands in that? Should none of them brothers be able to be leaders now? You have a whole, and we all know who did Martin Luther King. We know that. Who had a hand in that? They tell it all the time. It's not like we don't know. And we still allow that man to be our leader. Are you serious? He was a traitor. Why are we allowing traitors to be among us? Traitors need to be handled. How about that? We're just going to say it like that. Handled. Okay? But y'all know what I mean. Believe in jungle justice. That's all.
Man, that's what it is.
I don't know how else to say it. Maybe we put it another way. We believe family need to be taken care of. And if you're not part of the family and you keeping up, constant mess, then you need to, have a seat. We got this. We don't need distractions right now. Chris, we have a lot of them. A lot of distractions.
All right.
I rest my mic.
Excellent. Is that Isaiah Jr. right there, bro?
Nah, Jacob. Oh, yeah, Jacob and Aaron. This is Jacob. The other one look like me, but that one looked like his mama. I don't know what the hell happened. Yeah, but look, let me spin off on something. Robert F. said, "We are busy being real niggas and gangster to be the God that God wants us to be. We too hyped to be like God. We want to be like the devil." That's number one. Number two, he goes on to say, "We have an appetite for destruction, self-destruction, that is, rather than having an appetite for nation building and revolution." Two things. He's right. This white man has the world upside down. Good is bad, bad is good, right is wrong, wrong is right, justice and so on. The devil is nothing. It's not some being. It's the seven deadly sins, and the white man has always been about that. Death. I mean, yeah. Excuse me.
But even with Robert saying that, go ahead.
Yeah, Robert F.
Even with him saying that,
yeah.
At some point, we have to stop speaking that. At some point, we have to understand that's not all black folk. You got black folk out here that's ready to roll. We got black folk that's ready to rumble. We got black folk that's ready to grow. So when you talking all of that, every time we always have to be so profound, and it's always something negative. Do we always have to say negative stuff about our own? Let's stop doing that.
I'm not. But sister, let me say this. I just want to make sure I'm staying on track. Because, if I get too far out, it's going to be kind of hard to come back. Because I get out.
We don't want you getting too far out.
Yeah. I just want to make sure I get my point across. The seven deadly sins, greed, gluttony, sloth, envy, pride, wrath, and lust. That's all of what the devil is. It is a concept and an idea within you, but also you have the God in you, the virtue, kindness, responsibility, integrity. These are the God principles that our ancestors talked about. So when you are talking about God, you're talking about yourself to yourself. Everything that is inside of you is inside. Everything that's outside of you, inside of you. Everything that's inside of you is outside. Did you see that? The video I sent you about the brother Leo in England? Brother Muhammad? Yes. Did you see that? That's exactly what these motherfucking. Excuse me, Sister Cass. I'm just getting a little bit off track. But this brother Leo put that motherfucker in his place. Do you understand what I'm telling you? They don't have no fucking idea about what Islam is all about. They think they're the creators of the shit. Muhammad was a black guy who created Islam. And Islam comes from Judaism, and so does Christianity. And Judaism comes from Ma'at. If you want to get right down to it, I can just forego all that shit and just go right back to the source. Our ancestors were not stupid. They used calculus to create the pyramid. But I'm getting a little bit too far. But what I'm trying to say is during that conversation with Brother Leo in England, this pale-skinned Arab were trying to school him on what Islam was all about. And he was trying to say that God, Leo was saying God is everything. Then, if I remember correctly, uh, correct me on this one, Brother Muhammad, the pale skinned Arab was saying God is nothing. So when
Right.
Brother Leo was saying God is in the trees, God is in the dirt, God is in the air, that's everything, and he's not of nothing. Then the Arab, the pale-skinned Arab was saying, well, he's not nothing. He's nothing, and he's in everything. If I'm speaking correctly, Brother Mom, but
Yes,
my understanding is that if you're looking at nothing being the number zero, right, and you go 1 through 9, you can create every number 1 through 9, everything out of that zero. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Because if you look at it, the zero, where am I going? The zero, right here, the zero. You know what I'm saying? Then you got 1, then you got 2, cut it across, and you got 3. You can put all of those numbers in it. So from nothing is everything. From everything is nothing. But you can't think about it. You have to feel it. That's just something you just don't think about. You must feel the universe within you, because everything that is outside of you is in you. That's what metaphysics is all about. And that's when you study great metaphysicists like Ramban, Rabbi Maimonides ben Moshe, and others like him. You're gonna come out of that with a whole other thing. It's not. They say it's magic, but it's not magic. You know what I mean? The idea of me speaking on this piece of glass, I'm not speaking. Yeah, well, okay. That you can see me on this piece of glass and you can hear me through these wires is magic, but it's science when you get right down to it. You feel what I'm saying? So the whole gist of this, of what this brother Malua was trying to tell this white Arab, which is not really white, but he got some color. But he was just saying that, well, you Muslims and Nation Islam need to come to the real Islam. No, you don't. It's like me, like some white ass Jew or some other Jew trying to tell me I got to come to his goddamn man. Fuck you. I ain't got to come to you. You know what? It's so great that our synagogue is not ruled by one person over all other synagogues. It doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? And that's the reason why when I study Islam, y'all pray too goddamn much for me. 5 times. I got some other shit to do. Y'all pray too much. I came back to Judaism, then I went back to Christianity. Y'all got too many goddamn pedophiles. So I came back to the Judaism. I tried Buddhism and Hinduism. Too many how they go? Namni or Rango? Nah, that ain't me. So I go back and I come back to what was familiar to me. You feel what I'm saying? So when I'm looking at all of this and what Brother Leo was trying to explain to the guy, everybody's on a different level. You know what I'm saying? But hold on. But what Robert Epps was trying to say is so dead on, is that we as a people have to be united. And I can tell you about not everybody gonna make it. And I don't want all you niggas. But there were 4 sisters who got out with $25,000 apiece. And you can look this up. You can Google it. 4 sisters turned $100,000 into $500 million. It was like over a decade ago. I'm pretty sure they're over $1 billion now. But they started with practically nothing. Sisters, 4 sisters started with damn near nothing. They got together, they pulled their money. I'm telling you, the power and the unity for us. We are a cursed people, and we are a blessed people. We are blessed when we are united. We are cursed when we are divided. That's about as simple as it gets. I can't make it no more simple. When we are united politically and economically, we take over. Period. White folks ain't got shit to do with them. They too fucking stupid. We the one who civilized them for 3 times. They still don't get it. They don't get it. And they'll never get it. It's not them. It's us. The old biblical saying goes, when two black brothers, I'm not saying that anybody, when two brothers fight to the death of both of them, to the point where they can't fight back, the man in the middle gets the key to the house. That's the white man. They ain't nothing but, there had never been nothing but vultures waiting for us to fall, and they come down to the ground and they start feeding. That's the only way they can do it. They have never beaten us politically. They have never beaten us economically. And they have never beaten us physically. You can see that shit right now in Israel. Netanyahu trying to figure this shit out. We got the most advanced weapons and shit. We can't beat these animals? No, motherfucker, because you're the animal. You got all these motherfuckers high-ass, high-cost, highfalutin, and high-tech. You can't win. Motherfucker, because white men can't fight. You take the black man out of every motherfucking war, they lose. That is from a historical perspective that I have read time and time again. When white men go to the military school, what's the name of it? West Point. Are they learning from hunkies fighting? They're learning from your black ass, from Hannibal. This is some real shit that you must know. And you ain't gotta think about it. You ain't, well, I may want to study. No, nigga, you got to know your history as to why these white folks are lying to you about you. Fuck white folks. Fuck them. They don't mean shit. They only blowing smoke up your ass because they are playing the Wizard of Oz game. But if you just clear the fucking smoke out the motherfucker, you'll find a man with a little boy inside of him, scared. And I'm telling you, I ain't thinking about this shit. I ain't wondering about it. I know, goddammit, that these motherfuckers ain't shit. They're only playing with your fucking mind. That's why they spend billions in advertising. Because they know the power of words and images that come from us. They didn't create that shit. You see images throughout all of Egypt written on the wall for you, black man. That's the power of words and images that has been spoken down from through the ages to this fucking president. You, black man, you are the it. You are the it. You are the key. You are the secret. The black woman is God. Everybody comes from that pussy. You, black woman, you are God, from which man comes. We are the son of God. I mean, we are your children. You are the mother of everybody, of all humanity. If anybody tells you any motherfucking thing, any different, you can tell them to take a straw, stick it up in your motherfucking shitty ass, and drink the shit out the motherfucker. That's how serious this shit is. I give no fucks about them. And that's the very fucking reason they ain't gonna never have me on their motherfucking show. I am checkmating they motherfucking ass right from the get-go. Fuck them. Anytime you see these motherfuckers on X or any of these fucking Arabs talking about, well, we need to do this, we need to do that. No, nigga, you just need to kill them. That's what they, if you don't kill them, they're gonna kill you. You are the occupied. The occupied had the right to kill the motherfucker coming into their house, trying to tell you, get out my motherfucker. This is my house. This is my land. How the fuck you gonna tell me to get out? You're not even a motherfucking Semite. You're not a fucking Jew and Netanyahu. You get what I'm telling you? They're playing. All white folks know how to do is play. And I yield back.
Mm. All right. Thank you, Brother Isaiah, for that fire you got there. And in our little caption of this program, we have a quote from Martin Luther King that I want to go over and get your opinion on how you feel about it. He says, we must see the great distinction between a reform movement and a revolutionary movement. We are called upon to raise certain basic questions about the whole society. What America must be told today is that she must be born again. The whole structure of American life must be changed. Now, to me, when I read that, that means America must die. America must die. The structure of her society has to be destroyed. Understanding that, knowing that, what does that look like in your vision? What does that look like to you? Doc?
You know, when you're talking about the idea of reform or revolution, you know, to reform something means quite simply that it was initially workable. It was initially created with the idea of being just, especially if you're talking about a society or civilization. America was never that. It was never created for that. So in many ways, what you're talking about is the only way forward is going to be a revolutionary struggle. The problem with the revolutionary struggle is quite simply the lack of imagination amongst those who are executing the revolution. That's the danger. Because if they are simply seeking to replace the existing Pharaoh with themselves and have the same society, the same operation, we're in trouble again. Okay. They have to come up with a new system, a new ethos, a new ability to administrate, to legislate. Without that, you're just transferring one master for another. And what Dr. King is talking about, a complete renewal. He's in many ways using Christian imagery and ideology to talk about the idea of being born again for Christians in Christ. I don't see this nation as even holding the potential to be born again, because those who would be executing the revolution, and this is one of the Achilles heels of Black Power, of many of the Black nationalist movements that we've had, is that it's not rooted upon an idea of justice. It's rooted upon an idea of a transference of power. And far too often we see those who, if they are able to, and this happens in Ghana with Kwame Nkrumah, they were able to get the British out. And
Doc, hold on, Doc.
mhm.
Everybody in the chat, y'all can't hear. Can y'all hear Doc? Because Twin is saying something about the sound. Can y'all hear Doc talking?
I can hear him.
Okay, go ahead, Doc.
Okay. What happens with Nkrumah's administration is quite simply they're able to get the British out. And in due time, Nkrumah becomes, according to many Ghanaians, a tyrant himself. That's the danger. When you think about, and this has always been my greatest definition of a revolution, a revolutionary, it comes from Huey P. Newton of Black Panther Party for self-defense fame. Huey says quite simply, the revolutionary is a doomed man. He will either die on the battlefield trying to execute a revolution, or he will go ahead and succeed and no longer be of any use to the people. So that's the issue of being a revolutionary.
Doc, is Black America ready for that?
To execute a revolution?
Yes.
Emphatically not. Emphatically not. What you'll find is that many Black folk are, in essence, Americans in blackface. And what they're actually trying to do is replace the ruling class with themselves. And it's not predicated upon any idea of sharing of power. They haven't thought that far. They just know that they want this man's foot off of their neck. And many of them would actually celebrate if they could get this white man's foot off their neck and they could put their foot on his neck.
And what has to happen in your opinion for Black people to be, ready for revolution that needs to happen? And this is the thing, because even J. Edgar Hoover was looking to find this Black individual to stop what could be done as a real mile revolution in America for Black people. So what do Black people have to do in order to have that type of revolution pushed?
I think that you have to be firmly planted upon the idea of truth and justice and fairness and equality. It's really a sad commentary when you have the oppressed trying to overthrow the oppressor so that they can oppress those who used to oppress them. So you need to go ahead and be resting upon an idea of righteousness, and we can't be in. And this is, I'm a lover of hip hop, and with this being the so-called 50th anniversary of hip hop, which we call into question, those of us who understand hip hop, we don't think it's 50 years old, put simply. However, when you begin to talk about the idea of who the greatest MCs are, white MCs are always negatively evaluated for no other reason than their skin color. And we can't, in many ways, we can't become the monsters that we defy. And if we're being honest about it, that's reforming this system. You're allowing the system to simply remain the same, but you're just going to prop yourself up at the top of it. And if you're really looking for truth and justice, that would be morally repugnant for you. Just say what it is that you want. You want to be in the power position where you can dictate and you can run the world the way that you see fit. That position is not a revolutionary one. That position is allow the existing structure to, allow it to remain. Just put me at the top of it. And that's not a revolutionary struggle at all.
And do you think that to have this type of revolutionary struggle, it's a protracted, long type of fight, or do you think it is a short-term, quick win? How do you see this thing?
This is a long-term fight, because in many ways what you need to do is slay yourself. You need to be able to conquer the man or the woman in the mirror and really take it from a position of how do I myself conceptualize what is fair, what is just, what needs to occur. And speaking about Black America and what we see occurring within Black America, we're almost obsessed with the idea of getting white folk. And when you talk about being obsessed with the idea of getting white folk, you're going to do to them what you perceive that they've done to you. And so that protracted that long-term fight, and we all know this as adults, that we've had to work on ourselves to get ourselves to a position where we're even sane, happy with ourselves, and what have you. So that's a protracted fight. That's preceding the physical fight. We're talking about a battle for your soul, a battle for, are you really interested in truth and justice, or are you simply um, griping about being, especially if you're black, is your gripe simply a gripe that is quite simply, well, we're at the bottom, and if we can get to the top, then we made it. Well, no, you should be trying to. If you're talking about revolution, you're talking about you're talking about destroying the entire existing system. And I don't see our people even looking at those things. I see us, and we, we talked about on Friday the idea of the pay gap between men and women. Women are not necessarily talking about overthrowing the existing system. They're just talking about, let us get on top and the system can remain. Now, if the system was immoral and wrong for you when you were at the bottom, you must develop enough credibility, enough integrity to say, I wouldn't want anyone else to be at the bottom of the system, even if I was on top. So that's a long term, soulful search that I don't believe that American capitalists will ever be able to conquer, because they know that having resources in every way makes life easier for you.
All right. Thank you, Doc. Thank you. Sister Cassie, what say you about MLK's words?
I think, for one, that the whole system needs to come down. I believe in, like I'm saying, I'm gonna keep saying it. I believe in total separation. Let them be over there in their world, do them, separate and equal, period. I don't believe that they come to share. I don't believe that they'll ever be ready for us to rule. I don't believe that they'll ever be ready to see us build. I don't think they'll ever be ready for us to, for them to see us making changes. We have a whole system that needs to come down. We can talk about the police brutality. That whole system needs to come down. It's been erected for so long, but it needs to go. We have so much. The education system needs to be overhauled. Plain and simple. We need to teach our babies totally about our Black history. They need to know where they come from. They need to know the greatness. They need to know how they're connected to being Semitic. Okay. They need to understand where it comes from, our history, our culture, traditions. They need to understand everything about their Blackness, because our history has been tainted. It's been taken away. It's been rewrote. It's been, you know, God, everything about this system needs to come down. Every part of it. We as Black people have to renew our minds. We have to get in here and understand and start learning who we are and start loving on us again. I mean, both Black men and Black women. And that's not going to happen with them around, because they're always going to see an issue with us. They're always going to see an issue when they see us coming together. Then they're going to have an issue with us, like they always do. It says they will have a perpetual hatred. What does that mean? That means that they will always hate you. They can never be conformed, ever. So just like our ancestors separated us, I believe that we need to separate us. We need to be total separate. They have their government, we have our government. They have their school system, we have our school system. You know, they can learn their history, we can learn our history. I don't care to learn any more about their history. Our children know enough about their history and not enough about our own. So now it is time for us to teach us everything. It's time for us to do for self, period. It's time for us to build. We built Black Wall Street, we can do it again. But we can't do it with them in the midst. We cannot do anything with them in the midst. We can't heal. We can't love ourselves. We can't put us first. We can't think black. We can't be black. We can't sound black. We can't wear a black culture hair. We got our babies now. You know what? You're in their school. You can't even wear your locks. You understand what I'm saying? That's part of our history. So what do you mean my son can't wear his locks? Or then we talk our black language. We try to educate them. They're not ready to be educated. I don't have the time or the energy to take it from the basis. We have to go back to the foundation, black folk. We have to learn all over again about us. We have to learn how to love us again, period. We have to take them out of the equation. They shouldn't have never been in the equation in the first place. Now, I know people say, take the Bible, take religion. It's not about religion. It's about relationship. The relationship that we have with Most High, he told us to come from among. Be ye separate, learn not. That's what he said. If for the ones that go by that. But it's up to us to get to the place where we're totally wanting to do for us, totally wanting to build for us, totally wanting to love on us and know who we are and understand the history and the characteristics of our ancestors. And the stuff that they told us was witchcraft. We need the truth. We need the true relationship that they had. Because some of this stuff is not witchcraft that they said was witchcraft. Some of this stuff that we have to decipher what part is and what part's not, what part's evil, what part we're supposed to learn. Because we've been, from the basics, we weren't Christians all the time. So what were we? We have to understand that. So all of it needs to be torn down and rebuilt from the foundation, from the top to the bottom. Let's get busy. It's time to build. It is time to build. And that's all it's about right now. Building. And the ones that don't understand, the ones that want to stay stuck, the ones that want to coon, the ones that want to marry these snow bunnies and these snow puppies, you can release yourself and go on over there, because we don't have time to try to force you. We're not trying to force you to do anything. Because if you're not ready to get better, you're not ready to heal, you're not ready to walk forward, you're not ready to get in there and do what needs to be done, we don't need you. Because if we find out that you're in the midst and you're trying to create havoc, we're going to take care of you. And I do believe that that's what it's all about. Not condoning violence. I'm going to keep saying that. But I condone us black folk loving us knowing us being there for us, period. It's not about them. It's not, they've infiltrated everything black, everything about us. They have infiltrated it. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Let them be. Go over there and do you. We don't need you over here trying to interfere, because they don't come to work with us. They come to take over, period. So no, we don't need you over here. No, we don't care because your children are biracial. We don't care. Because we've tried to come together. We've tried to bring it to, we've tried to do this as a group. We've tried to love them. We've tried it. We've already, and it doesn't work. So let's stop repeating history. Let's stop doing the same thing over and over and over. Let's do something different. Total separation. Let them over there do them. Now, I don't care if you got biracial kids and you can be over there with the white folks still, or you can have your own. It doesn't matter. But you're not coming over here with the B1 people, period. I don't care. It doesn't matter. I'm just, look. So my thing is, let's rebuild it, tear it down from the ground up and rebuild it. That's what I believe. What about you, Isaiah? What you think? What you think?
I'm in agreement with you, but why would it be necessary to rebuild or reinvent the wheel? We already got it. This country,
We have it, but guess what? But okay, we understand we have it, but it's jacked up. I mean, look at the laws, look at the rules, look at everything is based on them. Everything that pertains to us is for our demise. So we got to rebuild it. Because it's not going to lift us up at all. It's lifting them up. It's their system. So we got to come out of their system. We already know we have to learn the traditions. We have to get back to our ancestors. We have to get back to who we really are. We have to learn that. We have to spread, because he told us never forget where you came from, never forget who you are, never to forget, and to continue passing it down to our children. But we don't even know what to pass down to our children right now. We have no clue. So that's why I say rebuild it. You know what I'm saying? What do you
Yeah.
think?
Well, let me say this, because I don't want to, I have a tendency to forget. So I want to express it as much and as far as I can. Robert F. says, really in South Africa, our children are told not to wear afros and dreads, and that's Africa. Let me expand on that, Robert. I really appreciate your, and there are a couple other ones that I want to get into too. That I appreciate your comment, but yeah, the bottom line is that the overall, what's that word? It's gonna come to me, but the overall gist of the thoughts, of the emotions, of the general gist of history that people have can be great or can be damn near nothing or is somewhere in between. That is the general knowledge of a history. And this is where the trick comes in, and this is where people can manipulate and defile the truth of what it is and what it has always been. And so when we study history, we find that the further you go back, the blacker it becomes. We have to own up to that. We have to honor thy father and thy mother, right? So without doing that, we are cursing ourselves because I can honestly tell you, when I'm sitting down and I'm, with my kids and I'm teaching them math and science with the program that I told you about, I can see the blessing that is being thrown or not thrown on. You know what I'm trying to say? That is that is blessing them from me, their current generation, their father, plus my mother who died a year ago, and my father died decades ago. And then all the other ancestors that we have, right? So I can see their minds are waking up to the reality of who they are, where they are, and why they are, and who they are as kings. You know what I mean? And I make them say that I am a king every day. With that being said, the word I was speaking for is noosphere. The general noosphere of the world is great because our technocrats and our bureaucrats and our political crats and our econocrats are always expanding that domain of knowledge. And well, I just seen where you can make yourself invisible. You're still there, but you can make yourself invisible. You know what I mean? So, with all of that being said, and the four ladies that I spoke about earlier, is the fact that we don't need white folks. You know what? Uh, I was playing baseball in the schoolyard and with a birth friend of mine. I mean, we grew up together, right? I think I was like maybe 13. He was like 15, a little bit older than me. And we were playing baseball, off the wall baseball, right? And anytime I would throw the ball, we hit it, and they're like, damn it, I can't beat this motherfucker. And then one day, when we were playing, I kid you not, a guy came along. He was just watching us play, and he was watching me getting anxious and upset and all of this. But I can't beat him. I can't. And he came up to me and said, Isaiah. Well, he didn't know my name. He just asked me, "What's your name, man?" He said, Isaiah. He said, "Don't worry about what he's doing. Worry about what you're doing." And just as soon as he said that, the whole game changed, and I wasn't worrying about what kind of pitching I was doing or what kind of whatever I was doing. He started to miss, and I ended up winning the game. So the moral of the story is concentrate on you. Who gives a fuck about what somebody else is doing? White, black, green, yellow, purple. If you concentrate on you and take your mind off of your opponent and play your game and make them play your game, you're going to win. But just as soon as you accept white supremacy or accept white superiority or accept anything of the bullshit they're trying to pull off, you're going to lose because you're losing concentration here. You must stay focused. Stay focused, stay out of trouble, stay committed to your dreams and goals, and you will be there. The will of you must manifest itself. And so when we talk about we as a people, not everybody, not all you niggas gonna make it. And I don't want all you niggas. I really don't. Fuck all the ones that are negative, all the ones that are talking shit, all the ones that are doing shit. And I just seen Sister Kath and Doc that the rappers walking around with purses and dressing with women purses and women dresses. What did I say? Walking around with women purses, dressing around with women clothes. What happened? This ain't the 80s rappers and the 90s rappers. Something happened. And what happened was that the white Jews started to say to the black rappers, we wanted you to start calling niggas niggas. And then on what Boondocks, he even had an episode or episodes where he predicted rappers would be wearing dresses and carrying purses. So it's not hard to predict in what direction our society going as a black society, as a white society, as an American society. But it depends on what is being said and what is being shown, because what is being said is powerful. What's even more powerful are the images that are being shown. And if you are being paid to suck dick to get $1 million, or to suck some pussy, or to get fucked in your ass, and I'm just being honest, this is going on in the rap game, then you're going to fall for that shit. And you've seen these people. I seen this brother, he had a $120 million contract. He was trying to make up his mind whether he wanted to sign it or not, because it was the devil's contract, saying that you got to give up something, or sacrifice something. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Kanye West, from what I'm understanding, sacrificed his mother. Now, whether that's true or not, or whether that happened or not, I don't know. But if you are truly a part of this satanic worshiping white folk cult, which is all of what it is, and it is bedeviled within the context of the seven deadly sins: greed, gluttony, sloth, envy, wrath, and lust, then you're going to fall for it, especially when there's some serious money in it. And you coming from a broke background, and you're looking at all the things that you can buy, Rolls Royces and gold chains. I mean, who gives a fuck about all that shit? You know what I mean? I fell for that shit, but I wish I hadn't, because I fell for the okie doke. I drank the Kool-Aid, thinking that, if I buy the diamond Rolex watch, I'm going to be a part of the clique. But that's just the trick of capitalism. And so I grew out of that, owning up to my mistakes and learning to manage my money better. Yeah, I can sell you a $50,000 watch. I'm more than allowed to sell you a house. No house is worth $3 million, and no watch is worth $5,000. None. It's a trick and a half. And so when I'm saying all of these brothers, and especially the one that we just talked about, and my talking about European standards, I'm just about wrapping it up. And then it's saying the queens will ultimately motivate this fight. The queens in our black community, our black queens in our community must do that. We must speak life into our men and our men into our women. If we just pay attention to history, you'll find that the black woman has never had a problem with the black man. Otherwise, he's gonna get a skillet up his ass, up the side of his head. It is the white woman with his white man that had the problem. You know what I mean? We ain't never had there was never no need for the black woman to get with the white woman in the 70s talking about we want rights. Nigga, did you never what? I love my man. He ain't never gave me no problem with rights. It's you motherfucker that gave us the problem. You feel what I'm saying? And so all this shit about them giving us rights to vote, rights to whatever else, they didn't give that to us. It was a black president and the black vice president that did that. Hannibal Hamlin and Abraham Lincoln. Look this shit up. I ain't just talking out the side of my neck. I know history. I know it very fucking well. And I know where white folk come from. And I know why they did what they did. but that's another show, and I digress back to you, sir.
Let me ask you a question, Doc. Both Isaiah and Doc. Let me ask you a question. Do we actually believe? You know, we hear it all the time. These good white folk, right? Do we actually believe that there are good white folk? What'd you say, Doc?
I just rest upon the idea that John Brown existed once. So it's possible. But I also recognize that they are always going to do what is advantageous to them. And now, does that make them bad people, or what have you? I guess if you're their opponent, that would make them bad people. But self-preservation is real, and they are in many ways dedicated to that, come hell or high water. And I do.
What about you, Isaiah?
I'm riding with Doc. You know, there are some meaningful white folk, but what is meaningful? Meaningful ain't shit. Because you're not going to share the power that's been passed down to you from the 1870s, actually, when it started. Because the Democratic Party started in 1870. I was based in the Ku Klux Klan about reparation for white folks and the degradation of black power structure. That's what they were so mad and upset about. And so when you look from that point onward, they ain't gonna give it up without a fight. But who cares? And the very reason why they got the power is because of the migration. I'm sorry, not the migration. The immigration that took place from the eight. If I'm not mistaken, Doc, you might want to correct me on this one. But I'm more than likely correct. From the 1880 to 1920, some 25 million wannabe white folk came in. Now, if you remember what Benjamin Franklin said, we pale skinned or white people are doing well. I'm just paraphrasing, adding my own thoughts. But he was saying, we are doing well in America. We are the burgeoning force in America. And we don't need the Germans, the French, the Swiss, the Irish, the English, the uh, the Dutch, um, and other people from Europe at that time. These were brown skinned people. They weren't pale skinned. And so he didn't even want them in America. And the reason why they were allowed to be in America or to come in through that immigration gate was the fact that they got the white card. You see, white folks came up with this system of supremacy based on skin color, but also based on the fact that if you can come into America and oppress the dark skinned niggas, then we can accept you as being white. Now, look at it this way. The creator of the movie, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, he had a hard time. He was an Italian guy. Italian people in America, before they got their white card now, they were getting hung and lynched by like niggers. But the Italian government stepped in and said, wait a minute, you can't treat our people like that. And so they got their white card, and that's the reason why the film. Oh yeah, esto hablando, wait. Ponte en la habitación ahora mismo. Uh, what am I going to say? The yeah, the brother of the creator of the film, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, about as dark as me. He didn't. Was that right? I think that's right. He was about as dark as me. He didn't get it. His white card. But his brother who created the film, if I'm correctly, if I'm not, if I'm incorrect, I'll correct myself. But if you know it, then please correct me. But through that, from that moment, I think that was in the 30s when that film came out, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington or something like that, right? From that moment on, Italian became white. Sinatra was a nigger. And the white woman uh, who played you probably know what I'm talking about. Italian woman was on the beach and surfing and all this bullshit. She was a nigger, but she got a white card. So you see, white folks play these games. Ain't talking about that. Ain't always the wannabe look like niggas that became white because they got their white card. Now there was an Egyptian guy just as dark as me. They were trying to convince this brother not so long ago, maybe 12, 15 years ago. And he was saying to him, the white immigration people, hey, look, when you come to America, you can't talk to these niggas. You can't be amongst them. You can't be one of them. He said, no, hold on, player. I'm not going to abandon my people. They may not be from the same nationality, but they're still my people. They're still brown-skinned people. I love my people, and I'm not going to give it up for you pale-skinned black people. Because if you look at it, black means pale. They're the black people. You feel what I'm saying? Or wanting of color. So I remember when I was in college going to University of Hawaii, and we were having a dance thing going on, and the president of the thing came on, and I was vocal. I didn't know as much as I did as I do now, but I knew that white folks ain't white. he knew that. You know what I mean? And so he telling me, well, I said, white folks ain't white on the dance floor, and I was dancing around like, hey, how you doing, blah, blah, blah. Pretty good. And I was letting him know that I knew. You know what I mean? So all of these things about white folks, being white and they know they're not superior. They know they're inferior. They're inferior genetically. They're inferior intellectually. They're inferior spiritually. They're just one step up from the monkey. I'm not just saying it out of hate. I'm telling you what the fucking Harvard University study and the top geneticists in the world from Japan and England and wherever fucking else happened, that they did the genetic study of the monkey, the chimpanzee, and the gorilla, scored 1 through 5. White folks on the genetic intellectual scale, the quotient scale, scored white folk now. Cause they love to say niggas just one step up from the monkey, as Meisner and Blumenbach poetically stated, and I'm gonna get to that in a minute. But they scored 6. Do you know what niggas scored? 9. Now, if you go back to Blumenbach and Meisner, they have pictures of monkey and a black man right next to it, which will make you think that the black man is just not too far up from the monkey. But in actuality, it's them. Another thing, Doc, if you can confirm it or not, if you know it or not, I don't know. But there was a Muslim guy, Al Jahiz, Jahiz. He is the true father of evolution. Hundreds of years, if I'm not mistaken, if not hundreds, thousands of years before the present day wannabe father of evolution. I can't remember that white boy name. He ain't the father of evolution. It was the black man. And what the black man was saying about the white man then, Al Jahiz, is what the white boy wanna be a father evolution for white folks said about niggas.
But let's say let me but we have to really
let me just finish this because it's very important. What he did was he stole the idea of Al Jahiz and turned it upside down and used it against us. And I'll throw it back at you.
okay, but the question was, do we believe that there are any good white people. I don't think
No,
so.
that,
And I'm
that,
gonna
that,
tell
that-
you why. And I'm gonna tell you
yeah.
why I say
Oh,
that.
okay, go ahead.
Because I say it because every time, and I know I've seen white people, I watch them, okay, but they can't even be trusted among themselves. So why would I look at somebody and call them a friend when I already know that they're not? But my thing is, even when they smile in your face, and if you don't allow them to use you and mistreat you, then you'll see the true them. Okay. They have a whole system set up against us to help us to make us think that, oh, yeah, we got you. We gave you civil rights. But do they use that bill for us? And, I hear black people say, oh, well, we need a hate crime bill. For what? They're not going to use it for us. So I don't believe that there is not one that we can trust. Even if, and here's another question, even if we call ourselves doing the revolution, okay, what does that look like to us? And then, should we trust the good white folk if they exist, Doc? What do you think?
The thing is that once again, it goes back to motives. And everyone has most people, I question this amongst my people often, but most people, they have an outcome in mind in regards to what it is they're doing and what their objectives are. And you're going to be hard pressed to find individuals in this nation, and it might be difficult to even find some black folk in this nation who, when they sit down and they think about what the meaning of life is and what they want their life to stand for, that they'll come up with, I want racial justice. That is so far on the totem, so far down on the totem pole that it's laughable. So as far as trusting people, um, if your litmus test for trust is people believing in racial equality, you shall trust nobody. Don't trust anyone. And I don't think that just because you don't trust them doesn't mean that they're quote unquote bad people. They're people who simply have enough sense to recognize that their contribution, their efforts need to pay off in continuing their position as the quote unquote top dog on the American socioeconomic ladder, and bequeathing that position to those generations who are going to come after them. Pretty much the same thing that any sensible black person would want. So trusting them, I don't think you should trust anyone in a dog eat dog capitalist economy. And I yield.
But even with that, let me ask you, I'm gonna get with you, Isaiah, in a minute. What does revolution look like for us though? If we're talking about revolution, okay, because I know I heard you mention revolution before. What would that look like for black people?
Realistically or in fantasy land,
I want realistic. What would that look like for us?
black folk are never going to be able to execute a revolutionary struggle in America. The best that they can do is be sporadically disruptive, leading somewhat of a quote unquote terrorist Mau Mau type existence. And I doubt as to if they even have the will to do that. When you're talking about black folk, we have to slide the idea of what revolution actually means. Um, it would be an achievement for Black America with how scatterbrained it is, how little political insight and understanding of history that we have. Extreme reform, meaning being able to work within the capitalist system and create several Black Wall Streets throughout this nation, would be revolutionary for Black folk. It would be revolutionary for Black folk to be able to create and support Black curriculum in Black schools to be poured into their children. And in many ways, this should be a movement that America throws its full brunt behind if it had any sense, because it would recognize that right now this mighty nation may be running with the efficiency of a four-cylinder engine, meaning that 8 cylinders, because with this we're a V12 V16 nation. Okay, if everything was running as it is, but if America was thinking correctly, they would do everything they could to make sure every quote unquote group is operating optimally, because that would create not only jobs but also increased income. It would allow for America to be America, in the mightiest economic sense that it could possibly be. However, those efforts are often muted by unadulterated, within their DNA, hatred for blackness. And we have to remember that really what we're talking about are social constructs, the idea of what is black and what is white. When you're talking about whiteness, and Mr. Drofo, he put this in the chat, and he's absolutely correct that it isn't until post World War One, most notably the Red Summer of 1919, where we see the Second Klan rioting. And the Second Klan is issuing a demand because you have this very fallacious idea that World War One was caused because you have these immigrant groups who still have loyalty to their home country. They're going to break this up, and they're going to make these people become Americans. And they focus their attention upon that. And one of the ironies, and this takes me back to earlier when I was talking about the idea of the African not having the other. American whites have always had the other. And now what they're demanding in the post-World War One period is for the Irish, the Polish, the Russians, the Slavs to recognize who that other is for them as well. And that other is black folk. So in many ways, it's ironic that it is the presence of blackness that magnifies and allows white folk to rally around that flag of racial discrimination, racial hatred, racial discrimination. We rally together because now we are white. But once we are able to get the masses of the political power and the economic might, then we'll fight amongst ourselves and divvy up those resources, those spoils of war. So that would be my answer to, is revolution really possible here? No, it's not. No, there's no army that in a physical fight around this globe that could withstand the United States of America's might. And if we're talking about nations that have existing armies, what do you think black folk could do with that? A good argument could be made that the best of us are serving, meaning physical prowess, knowledge of warfare, that they're serving for the United States government right now. So our best warriors are on that other side. If you're going to try and execute a revolution, and let's be very clear on this, we couldn't weather the attacks of F-14s, F-15s, and F-16s right now. Not to mention what they have, and they've shown us with the Raptor, and the things that they haven't shown us. Black America would be annihilated if it tried to execute a physical revolution against the United States government.
So, Doc, even with that, what I'm hearing you say is that revolution is impossible, then freedom is impossible.
In this nation, one would have to ask, even within white America, are they free? Because their asses is getting up going to work as well. We have to be very careful about making white folk a monolithic population. They're not. You know, if you go back and you listen to Tupac Amaru Shakur's song, Changes, Pac has this line. He said, because both black and white are smoking crack tonight. So it's not as if white folk are living in this utopia. Methamphetamine has decimated them. Okay, and it's one of those where KRS-One, Boogie Down Production, says this in one of his rhymes. He says, because if if black and white didn't argue the most, they could see that the government's clearly screwing them both. And so I don't see a revolution being possible for black folk or white folk. You've been surrounded. You've been, there. You what you can do is you can make small incremental changes at a local level to improve your position. You can go ahead and elect and take over the city council. You can take over the school board and cause some change right there. But your black ass is never going to get rid of that school board. You're never going to get rid of this educational institution. If you want to impact and you want to do something, and I did a talk about this probably about a year ago. We keep talking about educating our own children. Well, let's face facts, the majority of black kids are going to go to public schools. So what is a appropriate strategy to dealing with that? And it is that we need to grow up over the next decade an entire crop of young black educators who are focusing upon curriculum development instead of trying to put them in the classroom as teachers. Put them in that room that allows them to create what will be taught by those teachers who are teaching what is in many ways a script. And if they don't follow that script, they're going to lose their position because their kids are not going to pass their standardized tests. We need to really talk about getting our people on those boards. If you're talking about having a revolutionary educational alteration, but tearing down this entire thing, you'll never tear down this entire thing. America is a living, breathing monster that is going to survive. That's its number one priority, to survive. And anyone that comes up against that, it will weather any attack. It has weathered any and every attack that has occurred to it. Unless you're going to have an external aggressor, and I mean several quote unquote near superpowers invading this nation and tearing it down, it'll never fall. Abraham Lincoln said it best. He said, America will never fall from an external aggressor. She'll fall from within. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing the weakening of America from within. But as far as black and white and brown and red and yellow people ever overthrowing it in a revolutionary struggle, never happened. And I give it.
Welcome, Bakari. Okay, Brother Isaiah, let me ask you the same question. Question in two parts. Number one, what does revolution look like? And also, should we trust the good white folk if they exist?
There aren't any good white folk. So if they were or was any, they would tell you the truth about the history of America. They would tell you that King James of England was a black man that created the 13 colonies, and his descendant, King Charles and King George, were black men along with their black wives. If there were any good white folks in America, they would tell you that the first president of the United States under the Articles of Confederation was a black man, John Hanson. They will tell you or would tell you the truth about George Washington. When his homeboy, London, Lundown, something like that, described the man to be 6'2", dark skin complexion, with blue eyes. Blue eye don't mean you white. Blue eye come from niggers. We were the first to have it. We have all the genetic traits or phenotypes in the world. This is where white folk get their blue eyes from, their gray eyes from, their green eyes from. And so when we look at the history of America, it is founded on lies and deceit. What will make America great again is accepting the truth so that we can all benefit from living the truth. Make America great again, but base it on truth on an equal level playing field. White folks can't beat you niggas on an equal level playing field. They know they can't. They can't. They can't. So that's the reason why they angled it to their favor. And this, how you say it, made it unequal for black folks to make it. But we still made it. We're still making it. And white folks just trying to figure out how in the hell did you niggas ever survive this? We tried every angle in the book. And you niggas just keep on coming. Because that's how we are. Black power, baby. Now, when you talk about black power, Doc was right. I would kill any nigga that try to take over America militarily. Man, fuck you. You ain't fucking up my social security. Check. Nigga, you don't sit your ass down somewhere and shut the fuck up for all that black power bullshit, and you gonna come up in here. No, hold on, player. Hold on. You can't do that. I don't work 20 years for my social security check. You mean the fuck and then fuck you. But look, black power economically give rise to political power. That give rise to you black men having the power to make policies and laws and regulations that benefit you. That's what white folks did. That's all. And they opened the floodgates to immigrants and allow more wannabe white folks in, like I said. And this brother, I want to make sure I give him a shout out. Mr. Radrove, I think Rove or something. He said, I thought the white cars weren't accepted for everyone, the Italian, Polish, and all of that, until after World War One. I think that's right. I think the movie Mr. Smith Go to Washington came out in 50s, I think. Something like that. I don't really remember. But anyway, yeah, it was after World War One. Yeah, he was right about that. But yeah, if we're gonna do it, there's nothing. Hey, okay. Hey, hermano, okay. If anything happens, it's because of economic power. That's it. Don't make this shit harder than what it is. There are 4 companies that I detailed that if you take them over doing a leverage buyout, economic, you can fire all the white folks, hire all the niggas. That'll eliminate all of our economic problems. Just that one company. Now you take over all 4 of those companies. I can't remember what they were. I think one of them is General Electric, the other one is General Motors, and another one is something else. I just can't remember. You don't have to take over. You don't have to buy all the shares. Just be the majority owner of the shares, and you own the company. You can dictate what the hell you want done. Fire all the white folks if you want them. They don't have to know it, and then hire all the black folks, and that's it. Then if you look at the power generating entities like in Florida Power and Light, I think it would take about $800 billion to take it over. That's the #1 electric company in Florida. And if you go state by state, and you don't have to do it in every state, you can take over 3 or 4 electric generating companies that are publicly traded, and you basically solve the unemployment problem with black folks. Period. Now, if you take that entity and you control those entities, those corporate entities, now you're talking black power. Carry a big stick and talk all the shit you want. Speak softly and carry a big stick. If you ain't got but a little stick and a little dick, you can't do too much with that pussy. That pussy's gonna be like, what is that tickling me? What is that tickling me? I don't feel shit. But once you get that big stick, people will understand what the hell, they will listen to you. You know what I mean? And that's the reason why a poor man ain't gonna never make it. A poor woman ain't gonna never make it. You can hoop and shout and yell and scream and protest and have a sign around your neck talking about you're a man, you're a woman, you're a human being. Man, fuck you. That's not how it works in America. The number, hold on, the #1, I just read it up. I looked it up. The #1 school book manufacturer is McGraw-Hill. You know that McGraw-Hill was bought out by a Jew to perpetuate the lie still again, and for another generation, still again, until we take it over. You see, white folks are not going to change their mind until you make them change their mind. And do you know in England, Islam is the number one in religion. It ain't fucking Christianity. They hooping, hollering, and yelling and screaming. Do you give a? Do you think the Muslim give a fuck? No. The white little girls and white little girls are wearing their burqa and giving shout out to the imam. They don't even know anything about uh what's the name of that prime minister in World War II? I can't name that fat motherfucker. He's a pedophile to begin with.
Churchill.
But you know what I'm talking. Yeah, huh?
Winston Churchill.
Yeah, Winston Churchill. They're like Winston Churchill who? They give more praise to the imam. Why? Because the books, the school books, are based in and based on Islam and the history of the Muslims in one fucking generation. This generation, it just started. So it ain't gonna take long. We ain't talking about no fucking 50 years. You take over McGraw-Hill, start putting in the truth that King James was black, that he created the 13 colonies, that Abraham Lincoln was black, that freed the white slave. All that shit changes. And you put in it, you really put in there George Washington black. Oh my God. And you got proof. I rest my case. Don't make this shit hard. It ain't. I throw it right back to you. Don't make it hard, baby.
All right, excellent. Sister Cassie, is there anything you wanted to add before I ask another question? Unmute, Sister Cassie.
Okay. For me, revolution is just not fighting. Revolution for me is building. And we can do that. We have black folk buying land, building already. But I think that we can take it a little longer and further. And as far as education, we have black schools online that we can support. I believe that if we advertise them and get black folk on the train, because it takes us talking about it, then it catches on for black people. But if we still just, I don't think we can do it, and we don't start anywhere, then no, we can't do it. But I do believe that if we talked about the schools that's already like Zayek's Institute and Learning Curve, if we start talking about it, make that a conversation and make that part of the movement, then yes, I do believe the revolution can happen. But if we do nothing, then no. We'll sit here, we'll be slaves, working under them, struggling. And if they want to put your black behinds back in slavery, they will. And we'll go with no fight. But I believe that revolution will happen and can happen for black people. We are the trendsetters. I see other folks doing stuff that they'll talk about us doing it, but then they'll turn around and do it. Black women, I'm just saying, we're the trendsetters. So why can't we? We have to start somewhere. So why not start now? Why not put a program together for schools? Why not put a program together for buying land? Why not put a program that our doctors and nurses come together for birthing centers? This is stuff that we could actually do. And then birthing centers turn into sick clinics and hospitals. We start small, but at least do something. I'll rest my mic.
Excellent. Thank you, Sister Cassie. I want to go ahead and welcome Mr. Adofe to the program. Peace and blessings, big bro. Glad that you're here. I want to welcome Brother Bakari to the program. Peace and blessings, big bro. Glad that you're here. George Calloway, peace and blessings. Glad that you're here. And MDP, peace and blessings. We're glad that you're here as well. And our topic for tonight that we're discussing is, can America be reformed? Can its agencies be reformed? Can whites be reformed? And, Doc just dropped the bombshell about revolution. But without no revolution, there will be no freedom. So we have to understand that there's going to be a fight. Ain't no ifs, ands, and buts about it. That's going to happen. And you have to be ready for it. It's going to happen. It's here. And we have to be making sure that we are ready. This was one of the reasons why, we teach that we have to take over cities, because, when the fighting starts, you need a hospital to go to. You damn sure can't take yourself to the enemy hospital, because they're going to rough you over some more, So we got to have our own hospitals that we can go to. We got to have our own places of safety. And this is one thing that I knew, that once we got going in Mississippi, and we begin to change things in the manner that we said that we were going to change things, automatically, at some point, the governor of Mississippi going to say, what them niggas doing down there? What them niggas think they doing down there? And try to come and, take over the city, try to come and flex their muscle. We know that will be part of the thing that they will try to do. But we will understand that at that point, then that means it's time to physically fight. Because this is what we produced out of our own vote. See, if democracy is going to be real, then we have to make it real. And we have to be willing when the governor come and say, well, I'm replacing you. Oh, no, you're not. And we will fight you. We will fight you. So when you have a municipality in your pocket, you got weapons because you got your police department. You should be smart enough to open up, to start your own militia for the city. You got to be smart enough to have these programs. It's like one thing that I had said was, everybody on the police department is terminated day one if they don't have a Black first mindset. If they don't have a Black first mindset, they're terminated. I don't give a damn how long you've been on the police force. I don't give a damn what your color is. You got to go because you don't have a Black first mindset. And so we have to make sure that we understand, because we are taking power. And when they see and understand what you're doing, they're going to come. And you got to be ready for it. So we should never think absent that they're not going to have a response. They're going to have a response, and we got to have a response. We should already be able to say, well, this is what's going to happen, A, B, C, D, and E, and already be prepared for it. Because this is the time. This is something, by studying them and what they do, how they do it, because they don't change what they do. It's the same old trick. So you study it, be prepared, and know how to destroy it. Straight up, know how to destroy it. We talked about Thursday, Doc, not Thursday, on Friday when we had the program. And we showed the video with the brother who was beaten by the female police officer and then tased in the back. We spoke about that. Cassie had forwarded me a video of the NAACP having a press conference about it. And so we're going to take a look at it, and we're going to come back and discuss it. But before we do that, I just want to poll y'all real quickly and ask you, do you believe that the NAACP, and this is for all three of y'all, do y'all believe that the NAACP is suited to get us where we need to go, to get us our freedom? Do you believe the NAACP is situated to do that? And if you don't believe that they are, what should be done about them? Doc, you first.
Let me ask you a question first. Mm-hmm. Where are we trying to go?
We're trying to take our freedom, 100%.
Well, then 100% emphatically, the NAACP will be of no use, utility, help, motivation, or anything for you. No, no, that I'm trying not to laugh, but yeah, man,
But they're supposed to be, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but like one of, if not the oldest civil rights organization that's set up for the benefit of our people. And when the masses of our people look at the NAACP, they look at an organization that in their mind says
yeah.
that's a powerful organization that's fighting
No,
for us.
no. I mean, they just old. Then that doesn't transfer into being powerful. You gotta remember the NAACP was actually created in reaction to the I think in Springfield, Illinois. There was a lynching there, and you have this group of individuals who formed this organization called the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. There were only 3 Black people present: Ida B. Wells Barnett, Mary Church Terrell, and Du Bois. And keep in mind, they fired Du Bois, his black ass, like 9 times for things that he would write in the Crisis magazine. It was created to, and in the NAACP, to tip my hat to him. You got to talk about Charles Hamilton Houston. You got to talk about it being a significant factor in the fight against Jim Crow through the American legal system with Houston training up Thurgood Marshall. Then you had Constance Baker Motley. You had all of these young Black, especially coming out of Howard, Black attorneys, and they were literally fighting for the legal battle. They fought through the courts and what have you. Those days are gone. Not that we don't have issues that will arise where we may need an attorney or two, but by and large, the NAACP has, in regards to fighting for racial equality, they haven't really adapted to the new times. And one can make an argument that the NAACP was largely rendered irrelevant by 1955, because you have Brown 1 in 1954, Brown 2 in 1955. Emmett Lewis Till is going to be lynched, and then you're going to have the Till lynching is what moved Black activism out of the courts and into the streets, because December 1st, 1955, you have Rosa Parks sitting on that bus next to Robert Freeman in Montgomery, Alabama. So now the NAACP ain't going. They ain't taking you nowhere. They're reactionary. They're not proactive. Hell, you got a better chance of getting your rights established with a good HR department than you do with the NAACP.
Mm. So Doc, in other words, you're saying that they're perpetrating a fraud on the minds of Black people.
I don't know if they're perpetrating a fraud, because you would have to show me them actually saying that they're fighting for Black rights, and I don't think that they would dare say that, not in public. The NAACP is more interested in, quote unquote, protecting human rights and human values. And that's the way that they've been able to stand up so stridently for immigrant rights, for the rights of brown people. I would not be surprised if we see, in some shape or form, the NAACP representing Asian students attacking affirmative action.
Say what?
I would not be shocked if, because keep in mind the idea of quotas and things like that has been rendered illegal. I wouldn't be surprised if the NAACP were to jump into that fray in a way that is not protecting affirmative action or Black rights, because legally they should be a blind organization. And if the courts have come out and said that these things are unconstitutional, I wouldn't be shocked to see the NAACP do something like that. Not at all.
Well, Doc, I'm going to let's do this, and I want to be able to do this in real time.
Mhm.
Let's look at their website,
Mhm.
and then you break down to us, because if you're looking at their website, and we got
Mhm.
it right here,
Mhm.
you see, of course, you got the black girl with the black baby.
Which is
Uh,
not you know necessarily a good image.
Okay. And so you see NWCP know the issues, take action,
Mhm.
find resources, race and justice, inclusive economy,
Mhm.
advocacy and litigation, education innovation, criminal justice, fighting for you.
Well, now, but wait a minute, wait, whoa, 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 go back up there,
Okay.
go back up there to the issues,
Okay.
and let's look at how many of these issues are directly related to Black folk.
Okay.
Okay,
What you want me
race and justice.
to mention? Okay.
Okay, inclusive economy.
You want me to hit on inclusive economy?
No, 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 no. I just leave that right where it's at. Inclusive economy,
Okay.
mobility, and a thriving Black economy, advocacy and litigation. Okay. Fair and just representation for all by standing up for our rights in the courts and in Congress. That doesn't necessarily sound like that. Sounds like what I was just saying, that I would not be surprised that they take a position that is anti affirmative action because it has been rendered kind of against unconstitutional. So that fair and just representation for all, it reminds me and it reeks of Dr. King's when he goes on that riff where he's talking about a colorblind society and the content of your character. Education innovation, a world-class education for all students, not Black students, for all students. Okay. um the idea in reading this, um it reeks of the idea that a rising tide lifts all boats.
Mm,
I don't see this as a organization that is solely dedicated to colored people, well, to Black people. It might be dedicated to colored people, meaning people of color, meaning brown, red, yellow, even white. Um, One has to really question what actually is the NAACP achieving beyond filling the coffers and the pockets of some elite bourgeoisie Black folk and also some brown folk and what have you. Could you find on this who are the faces of the NAACP?
their boards, their
Well,
board.
they'll usually have something that'll show you who's working. Okay,
Um,
there. Okay, go back up now. Go back up. Go back up now. Okay, now right there. Now, now is I understand her name is Keisha. Okay, let's keep going.
okay.
Well, they have a C more. Who else is up there? If you go back up, go
Go
back
back.
up, go back up. There's a C more. See it? Who else they got? They got anybody else there? Or that just took you totally somewhere else?
Yeah, it took me somewhere else.
Okay.
It's called gaslighting, making you think that they got a black something. But we all know they don't work for black people. They've been around too long and nothing has changed. So that to me says a big fat nothing.
Yeah, I mean, well, they're going to Vegas. They're doing it big.
And doing nothing.
Shameless. Absolutely shame. Why y'all got to go to Vegas?
Well, they nothing so.
Yeah, is that Hillary?
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Is that
that's
Hillary?
it. That's her.
Oh
Yeah.
wow. Well,
They
we
didn't put
already
a
know. See right
they
there.
didn't, they didn't put a dashiki on Hillary.
Oh my Lord, stop. We're done. We're done. That's Obama. That's Obama friend, ain't it? Oh, thriving together. Who they together with?
Yeah, see, this has nothing to do
With
with a
freedom.
fight for racial justice. There was, my hometown, Mansfield, Ohio. They have an NAACP chapter, of course. That's Jazzy Jeff right there. But there was a big fight about who would get to go to the annual NAACP convention. And the president of the NAACP was a new person. And he said, I am tired.
Look at right there.
Yeah, I mean, the picture is worth 1,000 words.
Exactly. So who are we really fighting? Go ahead.
But the president said we're sending only young people. And he made this very interesting comment. He said, what has been happening is that people who are on the board of the local NAACP, they've been utilizing the NAACP convention as almost another honeymoon, where they go, they don't learn nothing, they don't do anything, they just go there and party, eat, and kick it. And I think that that's more the standard of what the NAACP is doing. I mean, look at this. What does this have to do with any kind of liberation? That's what's her name?
Is that Elizabeth?
Yes, Warren. Warren.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what does that have to do with us being free? What about that speaks freedom? I haven't seen any pictures of revolution. I've not seen anything.
But I think that Elizabeth Warren is fighting for economic justice, and that's the issue. That it's not predicated upon Black folk; it's predicated upon just hobnobbing. Now that brother right there, his face say he ain't paying attention to nothing. I mean, when you really think about it, ain't that what his face say? Look at the picture. How many tens of millions of dollars went into this Las Vegas convention?
Just useless.
Exactly.
Useless.
Exactly.
Useless.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
That's your revolution right there.
There was a, the Congressional Black Caucus have their meeting every year, and it's like a type of convention type. And
it's a convention, probably put on by the same people that put this one on.
It really was. I forget what year it was, but I was there. It was in DC. And at that time, I was working for the Ariana Lilani Foundation. And this was a girl who was kidnapped, a Black girl that was kidnapped. And I went there, and I started to speak, and they put my ass out. Security had to escort me out the damn building because they didn't like what I was saying. But, I would love to see Reverend Al, because I would, because he was one of them that told security to get my ass out of there, because they were talking about the future generations and what need to be done. And it was like, if you from the audience, you want to say something, you know, you can go to the mic and say something. Well, when I got to the mic, and y'all know me, I talk the way I talk. And Reverend Al was like, no, 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 okay, you done said enough. You done said enough. You're going to
Cut the
go on
mic
to
off.
the next subject. And I'm like, no, we not going on to the next subject because I ain't finished, because the people need to hear what need to be said, for real, for real. Boy, they got security and rushed my ass out of there so quick. But I said, that's okay, because one day you won't be able to cut off my mic. I'll cut yours off. But this is real. And it's like, what I got from that, it was more expedient for them, for our people to stay sheep people.
Yeah.
Versus to be revolutionary and wanting real change and ready to make it happen.
Well, I mean, the thing is that, let's be honest, if you're talking about dismantling this system, you're taking away their government dollars to have that convention.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you slaying their golden goose, and they ain't allowing that. Come on, man. And there ain't no way they're gonna allow that. And that's why, realistically speaking, if you're talking about what Black folk can do, especially with the leadership that they have right now, the best you can do is a radical, extreme form of reformism. That's it. Nothing beyond it. I mean, because come on, man. Think about it. These people are not living amongst Black folk. They're not living like Black folk. There was a great term that I heard. They called them poverty pimps, where there's a entire segment of Black folk running nonprofits, doing this community organizing and what have you, and they're not trying to solve the problem. They're not trying to empower the people to go forward, like Sister Cassie's agency, to get them job skills, to get them training so that they can go out and they can be self-sufficient. A lot of these people are creating these things so that year after year after year after year, they're dealing with the exact same people, and they're not putting anything forward to liberate them, because in every way, that's their product that they're doing well, to keep you coming back for another year, and then get you another year, and that's a problem. And these, I mean, come on, man, let's it ain't just the NAACP. Look at the National Urban League. How the hell you the National Urban League, and Black America then lost neighborhoods in central cities? That's like you got hired to be my babysitter, and when I came back from a date night with my wife, my damn baby ain't there no more. You didn't let somebody come in and steal the baby. You had one job. And that's how I look at the Urban League. I look at the NAACP. Shut it down, okay? Because y'all aren't doing anything. Y'all are having conventions. Y'all are reminiscing, and you're growing an entire crop of young folk, and you're grooming them and teaching them how the game works and how to be just as inefficient as we were. So yeah, I'm not impressed by them at all, man. Not at all. And they're not. They don't have a single thing to say about liberating Black folk. They really don't have a single thing to say about helping Black folk in any way. I was involved, and I'll end with this. I was involved with some Negroes here in Houston, and I sat there. We were starting, and ironically, we were using the National Urban League's building to start a Saturday school. And I sat there and I watched someone on a notable CBC Persons Committee, who just lost being mayor here in Houston, Texas, call around to the different agencies, and they raised $80,000 for us within 3 minutes for this school.
Wow.
Yeah. Have y'all given that money away? And they was like, no, we was holding that back, blah, 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 blah. money just sitting there in the bank. You just have to know who to go talk to, who's connected to who, and they're open. They'll come on that quickly. Okay, and that money should have been used for the community, and it had been sitting there. They told us for years.
Wow. Wow.
Did we take the money? Yeah, we took the money. Did the Saturday school work? Nope.
They didn't help y'all make it work?
Or the community didn't support it. I told you when we had that Saturday school and they had the Martin Luther King Day parade and them Negroes marched right past the school. Yeah. Yeah, there was never a Saturday that we had more than 3 kids involved in that Saturday school that were not associated with the teachers or the people who were working there. And they had a sister who was there to teach them ballet. I was teaching. I had a Saturday class that ended at 10 o'clock, and I would immediately leave from there with the intention of teaching history and Black studies there. No, not only did no kids come, no adults came. And we were open for about a year, going there every single weekend, and all of that. And the ironic thing is that while we're doing that, the same people who had given us some of that money were on the local news screaming and hollering about Black folk need to create schools to educate their own. And they knew fully well that we had opened that school. And never once did they mention the school or whatever. But it sounded very good as a rallying call for people to give them more money because they were Johnny on the spot. They were working on this and that. Yeah. And you think these are the people that's going to lead us to revolution?
Wow. Why did Sheila Jackson Lee lose the election to mayor when she's been their rep in the Congress all this time?
Whoa. She's been down there on, I think it's 5th Ward. Houston is separated into wards. Okay, so she's been able to be reelected out of the 5th Ward because the 5th Ward has been historically predominantly Black. The Black folk have been leaving Houston. They're going out to Pearland, they're going out to Sugar Land, they're going out to Katy, they're moving to Richmond. The fame that she got that allows her to serve as the 5th Ward as her fiefdom, it's a double-edged sword because all of that adoration that she gets, be it earned or not earned, gives her notoriety for the entire city of Houston. And so if all Black folk showed up, which they didn't, if they had showed up to vote for her for mayor during the runoff, she still would have lost.
Oh, wow.
She still would have lost. There aren't enough Black folk in the 5th Ward to outvote all of Houston, And you got to remember, no single candidate got over 50% during the regular election. So they had to do a runoff between her and Whitmire. She probably didn't get any extra votes. All them white folk went for Whitmire. She got blew out. I'm talking about she lost by like 30, 35 percentage points. And she said, I am not done. I'm going back to Congress. So she ain't done yet. She gonna take some more of y'all money. You can't. It's known here that nobody in Houston in the 5th Ward is going to be able. Nobody's going to overthrow her. And there were actually 2 Black candidates other than her who were running for mayor in Houston. And when she decided that she wanted to run, they both dropped out because they knew they couldn't beat her. Okay. So one of them decided that if she comes back to be mayor, that they would take her position as a congresswoman. Well, now that she lost as mayor, now she's saying, "Look, I'm gonna go back to Congress." So that person's gonna lose out again. They're career politicians, man. And black folk are addicted to as much as we talk about white folk being addicted to the wages of whiteness. Black folk are addicted to the wages of blackness.
So
And
can I
many,
ask a question?
go ahead.
Why do we allow people to sit in those seats for 30 years and do nothing for you? I don't understand that.
Because they're not politicized. They're not paying attention to what she doesn't do. They just know that she gonna show up with that braid in her hair, and she gonna be at it. She gonna make it around the churches, and she gonna do all of that, and blah blah
But
blah
do
blah blah.
nothing for you. Nothing. And
Well, I mean, things.
they're okay with it.
I'm gonna be honest. Things have changed in the Fifth Ward. Things have changed in Houston's wards. Now they're not attributable to them black folk that they elected. Okay, the Fifth Ward is no longer. And you tell me if this don't sound like this mean white folk that took it over. Okay, the Fifth Ward is now officially referred to as the Economic Corridor.
Oh, yeah, it's done.
Wow.
It's done.
The
Segregation has happened.
the Third Ward and Fourth Ward where Freedom Town was. Freedom Town is a historic black area. It's right near downtown. It's where the African American Library, the first black school in Houston, is located there. You can look up and see a beautiful skyline. Freedmanstown is no longer called Freedmanstown. It's called Midtown. Okay, you go down there, you think you in San Francisco or somewhere. Only thing that's black over there is the African American Library. That's it.
And we allow that.
Yeah. I mean, they've been black folk they have willingly left those neighborhoods because of crime that other black folk are doing. Okay, and they moved out into the suburban areas, and the white folk have come in. And you can see, you can identify their houses, because what was usually you could put one house on a lot, they're putting two, and they're building them up into the sky. So they're doing 3 and 4 story homes, but they're very, very narrow. That's what the new developments look like now, and you're seeing it happen left and right. Okay, left and right. You know, Brother Maurice, you know Slim Thug, the rapper.
Mm-hmm.
Slim Thug is a real estate mogul down here. He's bought up a big part of Acres Homes, and he's putting up these new houses. And you know, in Thugger, if you got some money, you can get a house from Thugger. He ain't no respecter of race when it comes to who he gonna sell a house to. So even the historic Acres Homes being flipped. When you watch, if you ever watch Animal Cops Houston, that's Acres Homes. That's not out in the country. That's actually in the city. People in Houston, Texas, these Negroes actually still ride horses. If gas gets too much, they will ride their horse to work.
Wow.
So no, she can't. You know, she's a king. She's the queen of Fifth Ward, but she ain't gonna be the queen of Houston. And the fact that they had to go out and vote a second time, oh, we knew she was gonna lose. You know, they voted that first time, and that wasn't enough. And they were, no, y'all got to come out again. And let's be fair. Sheila Jackson Lee's campaign, they ran a commercial where they told people to go vote on the wrong date.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. I was like, what? How the hell do you do that?
Nobody checked the date. You ain't got nobody down there that's got good sense. Y'all do know this is the wrong date, right?
That's so crazy.
Mm.
But that's your congresswoman.
Mm, that's
Mm.
sad.
It is. It is, and it just it trickles down throughout the entire community, throughout everything that we do. You know, we can sit up and we can laugh about it. Oh yeah, blah blah. But that is really sad. You know that you're really looking up and you're seeing black folk who are who have $1 million budgets, who can't get something as simple as a date correct,
Ain't
and
that
nobody on
something?
their team got it correct.
Nobody cared.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is that your enemy, the people that you're fighting against, they don't make them kind of mistakes.
Right.
You know, and
Right.
so many of our other properties here in Houston are being lost.
Yeah.
Not because they didn't pay the mortgage. They're not keeping up with property taxes.
Mm-hmm.
And people are going and they're paying that and they're taking their homes
Yep.
and putting another home up
On purpose.
there. Mhm.
Let me ask y'all a question because I see that Earth Angel Remix says that Sheila Jackson Lee is an immigrant. You
Mm-hmm.
know, her parents probably were
In Jamaica, right?
immigrants.
Mhm.
Um, when it comes to dealing with the immigrants' children, so um, Sheila Jackson Lee parents evidently were immigrants, and now she's probably first run American or whatever, how they
Mhm.
do that. Um, and of course, everybody knows she's a black woman. Um, can they be trusted on issues that are
Mm-hmm.
effective or matter to us who were, our ancestors was here slaves in America?
Absolutely not. They don't know the fight.
Mhm.
Absolutely not. You have people speaking for you that didn't even grow up here, didn't even grow up around all of this, didn't even grow up around slavery. You know what I'm saying? They had nobody in slavery. So how do you know our pain? How do you know the fight? You ran from yours to come over here to do what? And you only got over here because you were coon anyway. You didn't come over here because you was B1, because they wouldn't let anybody B1 come into this country that's black. So no, she can't be
Mm.
trusted. The immigrants can't be trusted. They don't know the fight. They don't have the fight in them. All right,
Now,
But
Sister
see,
Cassie, oh, well,
go ahead.
let me say this, Doc, and then you go ahead next, because this question may apply to you as well. But dealing with the immigrant, though, even though her parents were that, and she was born here, so she been through the same stuff that we've been through, right? So she
No,
should be
no. If you're
able
making millions of
to.
dollars, no, she's making millions. White supremacy is making sure that they are taking care of those Negroes. They are making sure that they don't want for anything. As long as you do it, I ask you, and I tell you to do, you good. Al Sharpton been around them since forever, and we know he'll come. We know that he'll tell you. He'll tell you, but we don't care. He's getting paid. You got black folk getting paid, and they're getting paid millions of dollars. How are you in Congress and Senate? You come in, and then now you worth millions. Where you getting that money from? You're getting that money to stay comfortable, to do absolutely nothing for your own. You can't even mention your own. They don't even mention black folk. And then when they do, they get mad. They have an attitude. Talk about reparations. You didn't cut somebody out then. They don't mention. They don't do anything for black people. Just like Kamala Harris. Well, what is she? I don't even know. I know she's not black.
No,
She
she
never.
ain't.
She said, "I'm not going to do anything for black folk," but did something for what? Ukraine and who was the other one? Afghanistan. They
No,
don't. They
she
don't
she.
care.
So like for Kamala, her dad is black and her mom is
Doesn't
Indian
matter.
for
She
India.
grew up with her mom. So that black fight, she don't know anything about that because I don't think he raised her, did he?
No.
She grew up with her mother. So she don't know the black fight. She wasn't taught. These white parents who's with these biracial babies aren't teaching them the black fight. They don't even know how to comb their hair. They don't care about the black nothing.
Mhm.
Nobody cares about blackness. Black folk don't even care about being black. That's the sad part about it. You don't talk too loud around white folk about being black. You gotta whisper when you talk about black folk. Why am I whispering? I'm black. They talk about theirs. Don't they talk about the Holocaust? But we can't talk about slavery. Oh, that's back in the day. You need to forget that. But you don't forget your history, do you? We talk about your history loud and clear. And immigrants come here and they come here. Do they get with black folks? Sometimes they don't. They have their own little world over there that they're into. They have their own little cities in Florida. Isn't there a Haitian town in Florida? Used to be one. Then now they're trying to dismantle that, trying to tear that apart. But we as black folk have to come together, especially to be ones that are ready to build. And we do it different. You can't come over here stirring up stuff because we're ready. We have to have armed forces. We have to have the NFAC. We have to have that because we can't do it by ourselves. We have to have a black police force in our black land with our black homes and our black babies. We have to be separated from them. They got us so sprawled out right now, you can't. You got to come back to your own. You can't fight if you wanted to because just one here and one way down in another. It's not enough for you to make a difference. But if you come and start buying up your land like your ancestors had set you apart, but we didn't want it. We gave it away. Now you wish you had it, and how do you get it now? You have a family that just bought 100 acres. Are we supporting that family? I want to see that. I want to see them establish that land. I want to see them build that land up. I want to see them put a school on there. But black folk won't even support it. They can't do it by themselves. We waiting, but they're going to destroy that too. Is that all we can think about? Something negative when you see people building? Are we always going to think negative? We don't ever just get in there and try to do better. White folk gonna be mad. I don't give a damn about them. Who cares? Don't get mad. They get mad over Karen gonna be Karen. Karen gonna do what Karen do. And that's too much conversation. When Karen come to your face, she only does that to certain people who she knows she gonna get away with. I ain't never had no Karen encounter. Just saying. They know that spirit. I've never had a Karen encounter ever. So why can't I mean, ever. And
I wish I had a Karen encounter.
Karen ain't gonna approach you either. Karen or Ken. Karen or Ken. So we ain't gotta worry about that because it's just a persona. It's just a something that they can see on us that they know them and them. They ain't playing. We can't talk to them the way we talk to some of them soft folk, black folk. They soft. That's too much conversation. You got to explain everything. I don't explain nothing to them. I don't have to. But I rest my mic.
Doc, what say you?
Okay, what say me about what I mean? About
the immigrants, and
it's I believe that there are different classes and different groups of black folk. Okay, I just believe that. And one of the things I consistently talk to my son about, my son is going to be an engineer. And he's into that Comic Con type stuff. It's not many black folk who are trying to dress up like a superhero. So I work with him and I constantly tell him, I'm like, yo, man, that's what you're into. That's what the interest God gave you. Go with it, man. Don't let, and I tell him, the one thing I don't want you to ever become is a NIGGA. Okay. I want you to just, because that ain't you. That ain't. Now, if I'm a black man and I'm talking to my son about this, I know good and well that immigrant groups are telling, and I'm talking about black immigrant groups from the Caribbean and what have you, that they are not above telling their kids, well, you're not one of them. This is the way that your people do this and blah, blah, blah. So I think that there could be occurring several things. One of them within the house, a very conscious differentiation between black folk and those from the islands. But I also think that when they're living their lives, if there if there are sufficient numbers of Caribbean born black folk in a middle school, elementary school, or a high school, I could see them clicking up and creating their own little group. Yet at the exact same time, I also see a larger white society that is going to tell them, yeah, but you still I see you as a NIWGA. So I think that it depends upon the person, and there are so many different factors in regards to if they would even identify with the concept of blackness. Um, Traveling the globe, I can tell you that everyone doesn't look at race the way that we do in the U.S. One of my friends, she's at the time she was one of only two black folk who lived in Kumasi in Ghana, and she said to me, she said, "Watch this," and she's a light skinned sister. She says to her students, "I am black," and they bust out laughing.
Mm.
And they're like, no, 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 Dr. Ross, you are not black. You are not black, Dr. Ross. She said, I am black. And they said, no, you're not. No, you're like a beige, a tan. You're not black. In their conception of it, blackness is a physical descriptor. Amongst American black folk, blackness is actually a political declaration, letting you know which side I line up on very clearly. Um, there could be some significant sizable differences. I believe it was brother Narma X that wrote talking about Kwame Ture, named after Kwame Nkrumah and Sekou Toure. He was a Caribbean brother, but he definitively proved to us that he was black in the political declaration of what it means to be black. So it's a crapshoot in regards to what it is you're going to get and how people are going to inherit and deal with their space and their place and their identity in the U.S. And I yield.
Mm. Awesome. Thank you, Doc. Isaiah, brother Isaiah, you want to add anything to what you heard?
Yeah, I think Doc and Sister Cassie said a lot. The only thing I can really do is add a little bit of salt and pepper to it to make it more palatable, perhaps, to the people who are listening, and give my little spin on it. But ultimately, what's the name of that congressman that died that the Pettus Bridge was named after? I can't. That's a worthless nigga. I can't think of his name. Him and another guy. But
From John
anyway,
Lewis. John
yeah,
Lewis.
they should have killed that nigga when
Elijah
he was.
Cummings.
Yeah, both of them. They
Mhm.
should have. White folks should have just killed them because they worked than niggas. They worked than white folks. In their community, the garbage was so goddamn high, you had to climb over the motherfucker. But they made sure, damn sure that the white neighborhood were clean. They made fucking sure that the white neighborhood stayed clean. Do you understand what I'm telling you? So there are
Mm.
some black folk that don't need to be supported. NAACP. Don't send no money in there. Don't do that. Operation Push. Don't send no money there. And the one that
But
we just
Jesse
talked
Jackson
about,
ran for president twice.
I don't give a fuck. He would have went right along with white folk. If he had came president just like Obama, he would have been just as probably even worse. I was in the '80s, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I was a little boy then, like maybe 12 or something. I don't know what a year it was, but uh, yeah, NAACP uh, and the other organization I can't even remember now. You might
Urban
refresh
League.
my, huh?
The Urban League.
Yeah, the Urban League. Yeah, that's another one. Yeah, niggas getting money from white folks and taking and saying and doing what white folks tell them. The Black Caucus, that's what I was trying to think of. These are all white Jewish giving money to nigger organizations. And as long as they getting their money, they're happy. As long as they're misleading black folks, telling them to wait, 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 nothing's gonna happen. The only thing that's gonna happen, which is what I just seen on X. Now I know we're not supposed to talk about it, but you know the juice, right? That everybody taking a dime from, and the manufacturer of that, one of the biggest one that whose name start with P and end with R, they just bought out a company that is in the research of turbo cancer. Now, in the middle of the turbo cancer that kill you in about 10 days, they finding all of these juice things in them that come from the juice. This is white folks, man. Look, I don't want to go too far, but if we don't see it, then what the fuck are we doing here? Why? White folks are the harbingers and have been the harbingers of death, destruction, disease, and despair since the beginning, since they got here. They ain't gonna fucking change. I don't give a fuck how nice and polite they are. In the back of their mind, they talking to you and they looking at you, they calling you a nigger. If they ain't calling you nigger, they're calling you coon. If they ain't calling you coon, they're calling you a jigaboo. If they ain't calling you jigaboo, they're calling you black bastard. They're calling you something. There are no good white folks, period. Like our brother Muhammad, esteemed brother Muhammad Ali. And, you know, for the life of me, I just don't know what it will take to get you niggas to realize this shit. The only power that matters is fucking money. Get that into your fucking head. You cannot get. I see this shit every day in the Dominican Republic. Every fucking day. If you got money here, you got everything. If you ain't got no fucking money, fuck you. That's what it comes down to. We live in a republic capitalistic society here in the Dominican Republic. Just as it is in America. Now, America can give you the kind of economic flow like a lot of companies, I would say the company, a lot of countries do. We have the money for that. But we're giving it to Ukraine, and that bastard just bought a $20 million house in Florida. He's about to get the fuck up out of it and come to America and live good. His homie just bought a $5 million villa for his wife, not his wife, his daughter. Had a $1 million wedding. Did you get what I'm saying? America got money. We got enough motherfucking problems. They ain't fixed that goddamn pipe in Flint, Michigan since it started. We got too many veterans that need jobs, that need help. Do you know the nuclear power plant that went down in Japan? Do you know that nuclear fallout cloud hit California years ago and it went as far as Chicago? Are you aware of that? Do you know that our food supply, nuclear capacity? I don't want to say capacity, but you know, like okay, like let's for example, the amount that we can accept as far as radiation goes, like 10, and our EPA, FDA said, well, 10 is the most we can accept. They raised that shit to 100. You understand what I'm saying? But there's more of a fallout in nuclear fallout in America that happened in Florida and somewhere close to New York that is far worse than Japan. But you don't hear about that in America on the news channel. You feel what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things that are going on that we're not told about. And this is one of the things that we must do as a nation. We got to take care of our own shit. I don't give a fuck what's going on in Ukraine. I don't give a fuck what's going on in Niger. I don't give a fuck what's going on in the Middle East. I don't give a fuck what's going on in Russia. We got our own fucking problem. This is the black man country. We established this shit. You feel what I'm saying? And get right down to it. We owe it to our ancestors to take control over it. Period. Economic control, political control. And I just sent you the Islamic kid or Muslim kid slapping the shit out of this white boy in England. This shit is real. This shit ain't no motherfucking fantasy of mine. They getting their ass whooped. In England and all throughout Europe, they fucking white folk. They can't take this kind of shit that we took. They can't take it. It's not up to them. Their minds are losing grip. Their hearts are running scared. Do you understand what I'm telling you? White folks ain't as strong as they look like because they weak than a mother. And all these baby pressure they getting right now, you ain't seen shit yet. They're getting raped. They're getting shot. They're getting stabbed. But I love white folks. You know, don't get me wrong. I ain't got nothing wrong. I ain't got nothing. I ain't got nothing against white folks. I love white folks. I love them. In fact, I love the white tears. I drink that shit every motherfucking day. Every time I see white folks struggling and stuff. Oh, those white tears really get to me. I drink a whole cup of them mother. But I'm here to tell you, white folks got it coming back in spades. And I'm just now seeing one of the guys that I follow, Scott Ritter, he was talking about, he don't give a fuck about Jews anymore, Zionism anymore. They need to be eradicated, and they need to be killed, and they need to be brought to justice. Because they just mowed down and tore down a hospital and ran it over with the bulldozers and just killing people and leaving the bodies to rot in the air. Do you understand what the fuck I'm telling you? White folks ain't shit. They're not. They'll kill your fucking mom. They'll kill your fucking mama. They'll kill your mother, their fucking mother. To get over on your black ass. Now, how the fuck do you think, and why the fuck do you think they give a fuck about your black ass? They don't care. They're the harbingers of death. They have always been like that. The 4D, don't ever forget that. As long as your ass is black. Death, destruction, disease, and despair is what they're the masters of. And they need to be killed off the fucking planet. I throw it right back to you.
All right. Thank you, Brother Isaiah. Well, we are at our time. We're way over time. We're at 3 hours. We're going to have to do a part 2 because I wanted us to get into this NAACP piece with their press conference dealing with that brother and chop it up and see what's what. But we'll do that next week. So let's go ahead to closing comments. And in your closing comments, what do you think would be the best thing for America dealing with the race problem that we have in America? What do you think the best outcome, and how should it be done to achieve this outcome dealing with the race issue? Doc, you want to go first?
Yeah, you know, as always, this was a treat to come here, brother, to be together 2 times in 3 days. Definitely enjoyable. Now, in regards to the race problem in America, the best solution, you know, is for everybody to be able to stand on their own. You know, Chairman Fred Hampton said it best when he said, Black power for black people, brown power for brown people, red power for red people, yellow power for yellow people, and white power for white people, all power to the people. Every group needs to have power so that they can defend themselves. And if attacked, they can issue some form of retribution. And their power will serve as, in many ways, a deterrent for other groups to go ahead and act a fool, to not act a fool. So that would be the best case scenario. Now, how do we achieve it? We work for a even distribution of power, meaning political and economic power, amongst all people, so that they're all able to live with some semblance of dignity. Love you all, and peace.
All right. Thank you, Doc. Sis Cassie? You're on mute, Sister Cassie.
Okay, I keep forgetting that. But you know what? As usual, this is fun. I like the idea of just discussing. This is a great discussion. It gives us a new insight on what it is we really need to do. And if we start to come up with conclusions and actually put some things into action, that right there would be a start right there. And I think for period, I think it's all about us separating. Period. I don't care that they have their own government. We have our own government. It's all about separate but equal. You know what I'm saying? Let's get back to that. That's the basics. That's the part that we shouldn't have never left. We have to do that. It's not going to work if we don't, because we're going to continue dying. We're going to continue, things will never change. They're not going to just stop killing you. The only way they stop killing you is you get away from them. Get back to the basics. Doing your own thing. Creating our manufacturers, creating our own hospitals, our own clinics. And we can do that. We can start. This is some stuff. And I go back to the thought. I say, is it our fault that we're in the predicament we're in right now? No. I think it's and you know what? No, that's not even true. I do believe that it is our fault right now, because what we can do is separate. We can buy land. Why can't we do that? We can pull our monies together and we can build. We have jobs, right? You have businesses. Why are we doing that? There is no excuse for us to continue taking the abuse that we've been encountering. We're only doing it because of fear. Because you talk about building, you have Black folks saying, well, you can't do that. They're going to come down and destroy it. Well, what if they don't? And we've been sitting up under them for so long, taking all this abuse, and our mental health is going down. So for real, it's going to take us doing for ourselves. It's going to take us running for these local offices and getting reparations, because the mayor can get reparations for the city. So why aren't we doing that? It takes B1 people to run for these different offices. And who's going to stop us from doing it? We have to. And with that, we can even vote for our own. And this is not just something that a dream. This is something we can actually do. You're in Ho, Mississippi, brother. Maurice, you're in Mount Bayou, right? Even with that, we could build. Even with that, you could be mayor. Even with that, you can get reparations for and build that city up. Let that be the first Black city. It's been Black all this time. So why not get reparations for your city? Pour into your clinics, pour into your hospitals, pour into your city, pour into your education systems, and change some things that way. We start small, but we start. Stop saying what we can't do. Stop saying, oh my God, white folk doing this. I'm so sick of hearing about what white folk doing. What you doing to encounter what these white folk doing? What are you doing? If your city is that Black, they're not going to want to live around you anyway. Good. Thank God. Bye. So we don't have to announce, oh, this is just a Black only city. No, we can do just like they do. Close the doors when they come. And we don't have no positions. Positions been filled. Oh, that lot has been sold. You feel me? We ain't got to announce what we're trying to do. We can do gaslight them the same way they've been gaslighting us. So why aren't we changing our own situations? We're sitting here waiting and voting never got you free. Black Wall Street was built by Black folk pulling their monies together. And if they did it then, we can do it now. There's no reason for us being where we are today, right now. Because all this can be shut down today if we wanted it to be. And I rest my mic. You're on mute, bro.
Thank you, Sister Cassie. Brother Isaiah.
I'm going to try to keep it short because I know I have a long-winded way, but I really want to try to get it in. Look, there's three ways to make money: the stock market, and it's associated with commodity futures options. There's only three ways. Real estate, you can buy somebody else's dream for what they paid. If they paid $100,000, they might pay it, and they might sell it for $500,000. You the fool who bought it. So you can buy into real estate through uh, back taxes and foreclosure. That's the best way to go into it. Or to build your own home. You can Google home, making home, building homes. They can build it for a lot less. A 5,000 square foot house here in the Dominican Republic costs about 100,000. You feel what I'm saying? And the last way is starting with a business or product that people need. Those are the only three ways to make money. That's it. You know what I mean? So my thing is what I've been saying over these last 3 years. LVGI, www.lvginc.com is the company to have. It's the stock to have. I had 10 million shares of it, all right? On an average cost of about $4,500. Now, that don't mean you need 10 million shares. That don't mean you need 5 million shares. But goddamn, 1 million shares run you about $500. If you struggling to invest $500 and you don't have $500 and you 30, 40, 50, 60, man, go sit your ass down somewhere. Please sit your dumb ass down because you done fucked up. If you ain't got $500 that you can borrow, that you can probably steal until you get the money back to the person you stole it from, and invest it and open up an account for free now. I ain't talking about it costing you nothing. You can go to Fidelity at your local Fidelity branch and open you up an IRA account for free. You don't have to deposit any money. It's not like it costs any money if you do. I'm just saying a normal brokerage account runs you about $20,000. But what I am saying is that this company LVGI is going to break out in 2024. I am telling you. They just announced $38 million revenue by the end of December. Now, you don't have to listen to me. I mean, I'm not a well-known stock picker, a well-known person that stock, but I'm here to tell you all of the stocks that I have given out over the last 5 years on my Facebook page called Wall Street News and World Report have gone up 5,000%. That means every dollar you put in, you got back $50. What I am saying is that this one company is going to do 100 times better than that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what 100 times 5,000 is, whatever it is. 5,000, 10 is 50,000, 500,000%. It's going to do better than 500,000%. I'm telling you, because I seen this shit my fucking self. I was green then, but I saw Netflix when it was a little baby. It was going for like 5, 10 cents a share. But the place to go was Blockbuster. But Blockbuster didn't buy them out. They were looking to Blockbuster to buy them out for $1 million. Can you imagine? $1,000 investment in Netflix at that time got you 10,000 shares. Let's just say you bought it at 10 cents. But you got you 10,000 shares. 10,000 shares times $700, which is what the highest point of price was. 10,000 times 10,000. Well, you do the math. I'm not good at math. I'm good at it. But I don't have time to try to figure it out. $700 times 10,000. I think that's like $1 million and something dollars, something like that. So $1,000 got turned into $1 million plus dollars. This is not a joke. There was an oil company that looking for oil in Europe somewhere. It was going for virtual nothing, for like penny. It went as high as $150. I am not bullshitting you. So the idea is to get in on the ground floor before the stock takes off. That's what I'm saying. It takes patience. One of the ingredients of being a great investor is patience. The next one is strategy, buying low, selling high, and expanding on the difference. And then the last one is selling, no, strategy, patience, and discipline, getting out when you've got your money. Take the money and run. I don't give a fuck if you're looking at the stock going at $2, you go to 10. Don't keep dreaming that you're going to go to 20, 30, 40, 50. Get out and be happy and look for your next one. That's what I'm talking about. And everybody that I talked to on this chat, Brother Muhammad, Doc, Cassie, I want to come up with you. I just started Global Capital and Ventures. I just started Global Capital Ventures. I am telling you, if you take just $250, $100 get you 150,000 shares. If you take that little bit of money, you're going to thank me later. I am not bullshitting you. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Stay focused. Put your money where it can grow exponentially, and it will grow. We ain't got 30 years. I'm 50 years old, 52. I ain't got fucking 30 years to wait on a 3% investment. That 3% investment doubles in 33. Nigga, I'll be dead by then. I ain't got time. You know what I mean? I gotta think about my kids. Hell, I gotta think about me. Now I ain't got money. I ain't broke. But I'm here to tell you there's a new day dawning. And just as I am saying it, 'cause I'm saying it not only from here, but from my heart to my own people, I'm telling you, we got to get in it to win it, baby. We can't just be putting your money in no motherfucking lotto ticket where you got one chance out of what, 150 million, Brother Muhammad? Something like that. Ooh, girl, oh man, ooh, you gotta get in on this 800 million dollar lotto. Ooh, you better get your money together. You better put that $1,000 in. Nigga, what? Are you stupid? Are you really that goddamn stupid to be standing in a motherfucking line on a lotto ticket hoping you win? When you can buy IBM stock at $150 and more than likely, because it has been a winner all this time, that it might go up to $200, $300. Might. But the possibility is 1 out of 2. You got a 50% chance of winning. Rather than one chance out of 150 million, dumbass nigga. Stupid nigga do stupid shit with stupid money. That's why they ain't got no fucking money. Stupid niggas do stupid shit. That's why they broke, busted, and disgusted. Now, the last thing I want to say is, to all you niggas worried about race war, you've been in one since the last 150 years, so what the fuck are you talking about? You've been in one. For 150, they've been lynching your ass, killing your ass, stabbing your. So what the fuck are you talking about? Please explain. You've been in one. In the Middle East, that war is a race war. It ain't got shit to do with religion. White Jews want to have their own space and get all the niggas out of it. The Palestinians are niggas, the brown skinned folks. That's a race war. Every war that white folks been in has been in a race war against niggas, against you niggas. That's it. They got their ass ran up out of Korea. I think Korean war. Yeah, Korea. They got their ass ran up out of Vietnam because they don't know how to fight. They don't know how to fight. When you niggas gonna wake up and really put your foot up in their ass and your other foot on their neck? Because they weak than a motherfucker. I'm here to tell you, just as Gaddafi said, you kill me, you be opening the door to hell for all of eternity, baby. And he predicted that the black man would take over the world again. We are down but not out. Get up. Get up, rise up and shine, for your light is here. The light of the world is waiting on you to shine upon it so that these maggots we call white folks can start scattering and the breath of life is put back into the earth because the white man has fucked it up. We civilized these motherfuckers 3 times in Egypt, in Greece and Rome, and now since we got kicked out of Spain after 1492. Do you understand what I'm telling you? They have no recourse but to back the fuck up. They have nothing but a game they're playing, the game of Oz, the Wizard of Oz. They ain't even no wizard. They're just a bunch of bitch ass motherfucking bitches and bastards, hoping that you fall for the okie doke, and you keep drinking the juice, drinking the Kool-Aid. And I rest my case.
All right. Thank you, Brother Isaiah. And I want to thank the rest of the panel. Very good information that was put out. And we went almost 3 hours and 30 minutes. But like I said, I want to come back and get into that other part that we didn't get into today. But I want to say this too, because as Doc has said it 1,000 times, I've said it 1,000 times. Every place is a battlefield. Brother Isaiah, you know that I follow you on Twitter and you send me stuff on Twitter all the time. But you were in a fight with somebody on Twitter, and you were doing really well. But you said, "Okay, I digress." Don't do that. Don't digress. Ram your.
I don't remember who was that. I remember some guy named Arcady or something like that, and he was talking to Scott Ritter.
Yeah,
if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah.
And I was telling him, look, have me on your show, do something. And I sent him my the photograph, not the photograph, the front cover of my book with a white woman with a tail. These motherfuckers ain't gonna call me, man.
Doesn't matter, but don't digress. You keep taking
I understand.
You keep taking the fight, because this is the thing. Is the thing is this: you got people that come behind to read what you're writing, and so your real audience that you're catching is not the person you're talking to, but it's those that come behind to read and see what the hell is going on, and that's who you're writing to. That's who you're fighting for. Because you want them to understand and wake up. So you keep nailing their ass. You keep nailing their ass. You keep hitting them. Because the people are reading it and waking up and learning, because, oh, shit, really? Well, let me go sit here and look. Let me go put this together. But because you continue. But when we begin the process of saying, oh, I digress, then the fight is over. And we can't afford to make that mistake. Take it to their ass all the way. Never lack off. Put that foot down, pedal to the metal, and keep it there.
Well, let me do a suggestion for Brother Cat. Excuse me, Miss Queen. Excuse me, Sister Cassie. Brother Muhammad, you need to do a show where she's talking about her book, because I really want to get into it. Please let her do it. Let her do her book.
Oh, most definitely, a mother's love.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Please let her do her book.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely, that's on the agenda. That's on the agenda. I want to do a round table with all y'all got y'all books. We know Doc is finishing up his book. When your book is gonna be done, Doc? You're on mute.
It's already written. I got the cover art back for it already and all of that. So, I'm on break now. So I'll start my break on Monday, and I'm gonna bang it out then and have it ready to roll. I'll let you know.
Yes, sir. Perfect. All right, y'all. Again, we love all y'all. We thank you all for joining us, for hanging with us for these 3 hours and 30 minutes. That is definitely a long time, but thank you for staying with us for each and every turn. And again, I want to thank our panel for being with us and having and sharing your love to our people and giving out good, free information that will change lives. Remember, as we always say, you kill the nigga in you, I'm gonna kill the nigga in me, and our God will reign supreme. We are Black first. Today, tomorrow and forever. Love you, family. Peace and blessings. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom.
Peace.
Stay blessed.
You better get the message and get it straight. You're gonna need some bridge work.